Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Xbox Nation. It is the best damn podcast on Wednesday night. GKB's already coughing up over here because he's so raging. He's ready to go off.
He's so choked up with excitement.
He is. He's like, man, I can't wait to get in there and tear Sony up. And so we're all very excited about that. I got some cool guests tonight. Mooch, for all you Mooch maniacs, will be joining us a little bit later as well. So don't freak out. He will be here, according to Mooch, and you can always trust Mooch. Yeah, you can trust him. He's Mooch, man. He would never lead us astray. First of all, I'm gonna do some introductions. We got GKB the Governor. What's up, brother?
What's going on, Crappy? How you doing, bro? Excited to be on Xbox Nation and talking these awesome topics.
Yeah. Oh, you love the topics, man. You and She-Wolf are just like
so excited.
Woo! I can tell, man. Just like love them. They're gonna be great. Hey, you got to admit they're different topics than what we covered last night on Console Corner. So
true.
For the most part, yeah. So I do a different kind of podcast than you guys. You guys are like more related. I'm more TMZ related. Kinda.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yes, I'm more. Exactly. And we've got She-Wolf, who has already been on record as saying she is not happy with me today because of the list of topics that I gave out. Which I don't even think they're that bad, fellas. Come on.
They are. Don't lie.
They're great.
They're not.
They're great.
They're not.
What are you doing?
They're not.
Hey, now.
I didn't get to read them yet, or I would weigh in here. I didn't get to read them. I'm sorry.
Wow, so just don't even bother to read them.
No, I was at the gym so I couldn't do it. I'm sorry. It was hard.
No, it's all good. It should be still a good show, She-Wolf. I promise. It's going to be a fun show.
So if it's not, I want a video of a huge apology to me for the fact that it was.
Hey, either way, you've had a week to grow your toenails out, She-Wolf. So you got something.
I was with you in that. I've never cut my toenails on the show.
We hear them shits bouncing off the walls and shit when you click them. We know.
I remember that too. Yeah, I remember that well. Look, if you don't have fun, I will pop in Console Corner next week and be like, my apologies for you not having fun. Humble apologies. I promise. That's what I'll do. I will, 100%.
I didn't see a whole lot of tech talk in that itinerary, so that's a start.
It's not. It's good stuff. And we've got the one and only Hellhammer.
Yeah. Just got to.
I was gonna say this is Mike's for
Great.
Yeah.
Always nice to have you in here, Hellhammer. I can't wait for you to chime in. Also, we've got Dealer Gaming. What's up, bro?
Not much, brother. Gearing up for the best podcast on Wednesday at 8 p.m. specifically that time and no other time. The best podcast on Wednesday.
Well, you upset people if you say on Wednesday because other people run podcasts Wednesday. So we'll just say at 8
have zero fucks to give if people take it that personally. That's their own problem. So yes, great topics. I didn't get to read them, but I'm sure they're great. So yeah,
they are, man. They're good stuff. They're relevant. And we have Noof, my buddy Noof. What's up, bro?
Hey guys, good to be back. It is going to be a great show, wonderful panel, lots of great topics to dive into, and it is E3 week. Hopefully nobody's suffering from podcast fatigue. If you aren't now, you might be in about 5 days' time, but we're in for a good one, man. Can't wait to get this rolling.
Hell yeah. And making his debut is Colt Eastwood, who a lot of people have actually requested to be on here. I've done a couple of podcasts with him on Beastfire. He does some really good channels. I mean, he's got a really good channel and does really good videos, like high quality and stuff. So, hey, Colt, man, thank you for coming on a short notice, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. This is cool. I mean, it's crazy. We've talked about everything we could possibly talk about with E3 for Scorpio, but there's actually some morsels that are actually pretty meaty right now. And Sony's throwing some dirt like last second. They're slinging in mud. So it's going to be good tonight.
Yeah, the mudslinging is funny. I love it because Microsoft is actually fighting back, which I know, like some people are like, you know, I like the console war. I'll be the first to admit that. I like it. I think that Microsoft, they had been really kind of rolled over for Sony at the beginning of this generation, and maybe rightfully so. They come out with a bunch of asinine ideas, or they seemed asinine at the time, completely different than what people were expecting. DRM, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, they had the TV focus, which now everybody freaking loves TV, right? I mean, it's the greatest thing. Sony has their own TV service and nobody says anything about it. But Microsoft was all about TV when they were doing it. You know,
they came out with a dedicated device called PlayStation TV. Hell,
yes, they did.
Nobody said a damn thing.
And it completely flopped. The narrative changes incredibly a lot depending on what Sony's doing. A good example of this is the beginning of the generation. Microsoft really kicked out with really good exclusives right out of the gate within the first year. Rise, whether you like it or not, I think it's a good game. Forza 5, Forza Horizon 2, Dead Rising 3. You had games like Titanfall, Sunset Overdrive, Halo Master Chief Collection, Killer Instinct. These are all games that came out in the first year of Xbox being alive. PS4 had the likes of Knack, Killzone, Shadowfall.
Wait, was Drive Club year one?
It was delayed and then still sucked.
But they had a lot of great games, but the problem is they didn't market it very well.
Yeah, well, no. Sony didn't really. Yeah, Microsoft, right? Like Microsoft marketed for crap. I can 100% admit that. So then, games when Microsoft had games weren't important because why? Because 1080p was the narrative, power, which was actually built up on a lie as well. Because if you look at it, Yoshida was like, 1080p makes you a better gamer. And you look at Killzone Shadowfall, you can see 1080p makes it much better. And then it turns out it wasn't 1080p. So that whole like 1080p, and they got sued over that as well. So that whole 1080p narrative thing was just a bunch of nonsense to begin with. And now resolution all of a sudden doesn't matter, which is extremely weird to me, how that changes back and forth. And it only changes depending on what Sony's doing at that particular time. So I think that is definitely interesting. So if you guys didn't know, there's been some Scorpio teaser reveal messages, which these are pretty cool. I don't know if you guys seen them?
Mm-hmm. Red Dragon did an amazing breakdown of it that GKB had me watch.
Yeah, that basically is what this is, right? So they were releasing these teaser videos, and people were tweeting this stuff to me last night, right? So the one of them, you can look on the top of the roof or whatever, and it says 6 is greater than 4. Which I took as a nod to the hardcore fans. Like, nobody else is going to really know or care about that.
For anyone who's wondering, it's on the top of a tent. When they're showing the Ferris wheel, if you didn't if you want to go back and rewatch it, it's on the tent. It says 6 equals to 4.
Greater than 4.
Greater than 4.
Yes. Everyone's writing that in the chat right now.
I know. They're all asking me. Why are you asking me if it's greater than 4?
I can confirm.
It's not greater than 4 by the time Mark Cerny gets up there with an eraser.
Yeah.
And puts
my wife tells me that 6 is greater than 4, too.
Oh, come on, dude. Man.
It's Danny McBride math they keep writing.
If you run at half precision, the PS4 Pro.
Nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that, though. Nobody's going to do that, though. So they have that. And then you see the numbers on one of the other parts, and it breaks down to a possible release date as 10, as 10/13/17. But if you put in that number as a whole into a Google image search, this robot comes up, and it's like how to build a robot for under $400. And people are just like floored by this.
Hey, you remember how retarded we were for saying it was going to be $400 or whatever for like the past 8 months?
I think what they're really doing is they're comparing the quality of the hardware to a cheap ass robot from the 80s. I mean, there you go.
No, dude. Hellhammer. No.
Yeah. If that is indicative of the hardware quality, then the pros, I don't know what that would be. I have no clue what that would be.
I'm impressed, though, that like social media like IGN and all them didn't actually turn around and post the picture and be like, wow, so we're comparing it to a cheap robot. Like, I'm impressed they didn't take that and turn it around like they usually do.
Well, you know what? I like this. It's viral marketing at its best. I like the fact that Microsoft took a little dig at Sony despite, being in the hole that they're in right now. And also that number under $400 has got to have Sony sweating a little bit. I'm sure they already had contingency plans to lower the PS4 Pro price to begin with. But if you look at what they're doing with the Pro in like Canada, they're actually raising the price of it $50. So that could be another big win for Microsoft at the end of the day. Like, what is your guys' thoughts on these like hidden messages? I find it to be cool, but that's just me. I like the viral marketing.
Cool. It is cool. And this is, like you said, they are in a hole here in terms of install base, especially in Europe. I think it's like 4-1 or 3-1. This is a time that they need to be the most aggressive. And yes, Mark Cerny, 6 is bigger than 4. You can spin it however you want, but ultimately the games are going to look and run better on Xbox. People are going to know that. And if it does come in around $399, I think it needs to hit $350 really to be ultimately competitive.
What if they say $349? Like, wow.
I don't know. I mean, Pro is going to get a price drop this year. So if it was $349, if people were saying Xbox Nation, everybody here was so stupid for thinking it would be anywhere around $450, right? And that was kind of modest. but turns out it's going to be $399, maybe even $350 if they're going super aggressive. That's going to be pretty insane. That's just my take on it.
Yeah.
Is Sony's E3 before Microsoft?
After the next day.
Oh,
It's
so
on
they can
Monday.
sit there. They can sit there on the 10 key on their keyboard and wait for Scorpio to announce the price and go click, 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 and change the pro price really quick.
All right, we'll just uninstall the Blu-ray drive and we can drop it down to 300.
We can tell people aren't using Blu-rays for their games anymore anyway. Let's just take that feature away from them, right? I like GKB. What are your thoughts on the viral marketing? I mean, I think it's super effective.
Yeah, I think it's really cool too, man. Like, I loved how like people just went after it and like look for all that kind of stuff in the trailer and all that. It is viral marketing at its best for sure, and it's what Microsoft needs, and they need to keep pushing that if they're ever going to make up this ground that they're kind of behind in for sure.
Yeah,
the
agree
coolest
100%.
thing about this console crap is it's going to make your fucking eyeballs and shit dilate on command. Apparently.
Yeah. Well, well, if you look at their marketing, it's almost very Sega-ish. Like, I kind of noticed that, right? Like, I don't know if you guys noticed that. If you guys go back to like what they're doing now, it's feel true power, right? It's sort of like the whole Sega thing when they're like, "Whoa, Sega!" You know what I mean? Like, when you put on that
PSVR, and you're like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, okay, that did happen, but still, I'm just saying, like, I like the fact that they're doing this kind of viral marketing, and they're taking some jabs, and they're not like laying over for Sony. And what was interesting was I saw like the NeoGAF thread and the N4G thread with this stuff where people are like, oh my god, is it really going to be $399? Even like people that don't even like Xbox, they're like,
hold on a minute.
I'd be down for that.
I have to when it comes to like this whole Google search thing, you do know that it's like possible it's really just a coincidence, because I tried doing the whole search thing and everything, and literally that image didn't like just come up by itself, and it wasn't like, oh my god, this image. That's like a magazine from like friggin' back in 1982. Like, it's not like it's actually made towards the Scorpio. So
what else came up though? What else came up with the robot?
Literally, there's like some radio electronic, like it's a whole bunch of.
I mean, they're not just gonna plaster this number on and expect nobody to Google it, right? Like, the odds of it not being intentional are pretty astronomical.
But it's not like you write in any number into Google and you're going to get like so many different images. Like, that's not the only magazine page that comes up from that past. So that's all I'm saying. Like,
so it's either $3.99 or yoga pants or something.
It could be.
$3.99 yoga
pants. Like, let's be honest. Like, when you Google search something, you can get almost anything from it. Like,
yeah, I will say that it was the number one thing when you did that search originally, but now so many people have done it that it pushed it around. Now it's like associated with Scorpio and stuff like that.
Well,
so
no. And who said that? Like, I don't know. I just think it's a little like, come on.
Buzzkill.
I just gotta say, I think it's clever.
Realistic.
It's clever. It's like subtle bragging. You know what I mean? I really like it. It's not being way out there. It's a nice little teaser. It makes people wonder. And again, subtle bragging by Microsoft.
What's good about this? Let's just say that it is $3.99, right? Like, maybe Microsoft didn't expect people to catch all the little hints and stuff like that. But because you had to really like blow up the image and things like that to get that number, and then like to know to Google it and things like that, I think that Microsoft was very smart. And Albert Pinello from Microsoft, when people brought it up on Twitter to him, he's like, "So you guys have really good eyesight." That's what he said. That was his response to all that. When people are like, "Is it $3.99? Is it this? Is And he's just like, "You guys have really good eyesight." You know.
Well, was that actually more
the stage picture to actually see those numbers and all that?
Yeah.
Right. Like, that was taken intention. Like a standard resolution photo, it'd be insanely hard to make out print that small. So that is a pretty high quality photo they've actually stuck in there just to make that even possible.
But see, when I see the number, like, I see a release date, but at the same time, it seems to also come up with like what, X10S. So
I think it's a 5. I think it's a 5. If you guys look at it,
that's what I thought. But if you keep
Red Dragon
like,
said S.
yeah. Well, that's where I saw well, I first assumed it was an S, but it does look like a 5. But then the S kind of makes more sense going with the whole Xbox kind of theme of it. The only thing that really stands out to me is not really the price or anything like that. It's more or less the release date, and that is coming in October. That kind of stands out to me more than wondering or trying to guess if some picture is a price.
Does it spell anything in that leet speak, whatever they call it? Whatever those kids call it on.
Somebody said that somebody was like, "Oh, well, this is British pounds, which would be equal $410 US," and I was just like, "Yeah, there's no such thing as a $410 console." You know what I mean? But
here's the conversion, but 400.
Yes, somebody. Yeah, so somebody also pointed out that it's the number is very similar to the Xbox 360 like CGPU or whatever number. So they say it could just be that. But to me, it like X10 or 5 or X10S 10, 13, 17 seems to make a lot of sense in terms of when they plan to release this thing. We know it's going to release probably in October, just for the simple fact that in those leaked documents, the XDK certifications are happening in October.
And that's a middle of October on a Friday is what that is, the 13th.
Yeah, Friday the 13th. What a great
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Friday is always like super awesome. So, but like for me, I think the 13th date has more weight than anything else because of the Shadow of War getting pushed back. Because like when you saw like that game and the gameplay and all that kind of stuff, it looked pretty darn far along. Like it's I don't think they needed 2 more months. I mean, what actually can you accomplish? But getting your day one patch a little bit better at that point, like I think it's just more. It's probably going to be like the 13th or in that week sometime.
Yeah, you know what? It's to me, I agree 100%. Like if you look at what they did, like I've seen the IGN first footage and stuff, and that game looks very polished to me. So to me, I
have a lot of games coming out around the Scorpio and stuff. So like you can buy all these games plus the Scorpio and all that kind of stuff. Like it makes sense.
Yeah, like
let me say, I'm so glad they're not doing these kind of ads back in the 80s, so we don't have to do a screen grab from a shitty VHS tape. Thank God.
Could you even do that?
I guess if you were recording it, right? I mean, I don't really know. I think that it's
Back in the day, we used to pause our porn on VHS, and you had to look through all the squiggly lines.
Tracking button.
I mean, or so I've heard.
Yes,
also,
I think it's good.
You're asking
it's
for
good
that.
Also, with the whole Shadow of sorry, go
ahead.
I think it's good that Microsoft is starting to talk trash. I think they should, because as much as I know about the Scorpio and what Xbox has been giving out to us the past couple of years, I think they have every right to talk trash, no matter how far behind they are with Sony. I think they have every right because they think they have the stuff to back it up. The Xbox has no games.
They're coming out of the turtle shell, Colt. They're coming out of the turtle shell.
They were kind of talking a lot of shit too with like the 4K stuff, like when all the execs were going in there, like check mark. I mean, it's not like they haven't been talking shit to Sony. Yes, Sony has been talking a lot more shit.
They could sure do more.
Yeah. I mean, but the stuff they've been talking shit on is stuff that Sony literally can't do for the most part. Like it's impossible. Like 4K Blu-ray. You don't have that. We do. There is no in between. 4K textures. We're going to have that. You're not going to have that. You're not even going to have 4K games for the most part. There you go. Like it speaks for itself.
Not true. Wipeout HD collection.
Oh my God.
4K, baby.
Right. 4K 60.
I don't know. I still think like my most favorite like not attack on them, but like defense thing was like the backwards compat video where he like showed how to like put the disc into the like system and was like done. Like that has to be my all-time favorite. I just thought that was hilarious.
Moran tweets that out all the time. Like I find that to be completely humorous as well. Just speaking of the backwards compatibility thing, right? So
nobody uses that, bro.
Yeah, nobody uses that. According to Sony said that nobody really uses it. It's often requested, but nobody uses it. Microsoft then came back and said, people ask for it. We should give it to gamers because they ask for it. You can take your games with you. It's a great feature. Options are great. Then the next day, the media runs with, looks like Sony was right. Nobody's really using it. You know what I mean? They like totally back Sony on this. Like Sony was right. Nope. Microsoft is wrong. Nobody's using it.
So why is it one of the highest requested things on their forums?
Yeah, I don't know. And then today, Microsoft confirms that half of Xbox One users play backwards compatible games, over 500 million hours worth. And for research purposes, in November 10th, 2016, it was only at 210 million hours of backwards compatibility used. So more than doubled that in less than a year, but nobody uses it. And then to further illustrate that point, you know, Red Dead Redemption really sold well when it got backwards compatibility. Black Ops 2 made the top 10 with backwards compatibility. So this, to me, speaks a couple of things. If I'm a Sony...
look at Black Ops 1 when it released. Like...
Yeah. Exactly. That's a great point. Black Ops 1, that game, we all played
Red
that.
Dead went up 6,000% in sales.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a really great point. And here's the thing that gets me thinking, right? I've kind of switched to digital, like even on PS4. So if Sony is against backwards compatibility, where's that put the PS5? Like for me, I have no problem buying games digital on Xbox because I know I can take them with me. But with the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, they don't seem real keen on that. They seem more keen to like resell you old games.
So you think when PS5 comes out, like in 2020, you try to play a PS4 game, right? Backwards compat. A picture of that motherfucker pops. Get the fuck! Why the fuck are you playing this? Like,
yeah. Who wants to play that? It looks so ancient. Yeah, come on, what's wrong with
here? You know?
Yeah, no, they've talked about like the PS4 and the PS5 and all that kind of stuff in like future. Like even Sony's came out and said like these consoles going forward are going to be backwards compatible. I think they're just more talking like last gen, like the PS3 and all that kind of stuff.
No, he's just talking about something he doesn't have, and that's the only fucking reason. And they'll do that
that's
while
what I'm
selling
go
you,
into, but like
selling you $15 versions of San Andreas and Battlefront 2 and fucking subscriptions to PlayStation Now. Why would you even make that statement? It makes no sense. And then you add to that God of War remaster, Last of Us remaster. Why the fuck are you playing that? You know, it's an old game.
They're going to talk down like anybody else's features. I mean, that's what it is. Like, they want to prop up theirs by saying it's not. But I mean, they were going on about like the stupid survey thing that was out there that only polled like so many people. It didn't even pull the whole player base, and they got like 1% of the back of pat people. Like, it's just nonsense.
You don't even have to get numbers from Microsoft to see how popular it is. You just gotta look at the sales of these games that were on 360 that all of a sudden just surge up when they go backwards compatible. I mean, it's pretty simple.
PlayStation can't do PS3 on the console because of the cell architecture. Yeah. But I think PS5, they're in the situation where they need to offer PS4 backward compatibility on a new console. So I'm in the camp where I think that that's something that they'll do because they'll have to follow suit because there's just so many great games on the PS4. They can't leave them behind. I think.
Yeah, but do you think that they would stick to like the whole like stream service kind of thing, or would they? Do you think they'd actually take the approach of Xbox and actually go where you actually download the game?
Yeah, I'm not totally convinced because remember they were talking about bringing PS4 games to PS Now, so that's where dealer is right on.
They already did, didn't they?
Yeah. Killzone.
But have we ever seen
that gives them incentive to just say "F you" on PS5 backward compatibility and just say, remember Red Dragon's tweet when he said, you want to play old games? We have a console for that. And he showed Don Matrick pointing to the PS3. Yeah. You guys see that?
I find it hard to believe that the PS5 is not going to be backwards compatible. It's all x86 architecture.
I mean, at this point, it would be dumb not to have it.
Well, that's true. But keep in mind that Sony said that's why they stuck with the Jag is to maintain that backwards compatibility. So I think either they're going to have to invest in emulation like Microsoft have already started doing, or they're going to have to figure out where to put it, PlayStation Now or develop emulation.
Or
it shouldn't be too much of an emulation.
Let's be honest that maybe in 3 years when the PS5 is ready to come out, the PS Now service will be just faded out. It's not all that popular, is it?
Well, I mean, they just consolidate platforms to boost the games, right? So they can put PS4 games on there now.
But they're what they're doing is they're with the PS4 games, they're putting some of the older ones on there, which is, I mean, I get that point, but really, is anybody that's going to be on a PC or something going to be like, damn, I can't wait to play that knack, you know? Like, I just don't,
I can't wait to play knack in 720p over a laggy connection.
They can't wait because they're making knack 2. Must be a lot of people loving that.
If I was Sony, perhaps for the next gen, what I would probably do is, since you're charging for your PlayStation Plus, is maybe have a 2-tiered system so you get basic PlayStation Plus to go online and sort of bundle the PlayStation Now package with all the new games in for like say an extra $10 a month to basically do what Xbox is doing with the Game Pass, you know. So the extra $10.
Well, it would be a smart idea, that would be a smart idea, but the thing is, they don't want to do anything that will make it seem like they're copying Microsoft. Like that's where I find it. They don't
do that
like,
all the time, though. They just did it with their latest update.
But they try to attempt to make it look like they're not trying to like. If that makes any sense, like
I mean, every company copies ideas, but Sony would do it blatantly. I wouldn't be surprised if PS5 has 2 HDMI ports. Seriously, I mean, they just do not.
They promised that in PS3.
Oh my gosh.
And they didn't even know what the hell they were going to use it for, like dual monitor support or some shit, right? Like, that didn't have enough power to even come close to doing that.
They were doing so many frames per second that TVs weren't even invented yet. They could handle it.
They needed 2.
They needed 2. Yeah. So I mean,
you got to admit my idea is genius, though, isn't it? Because that way, if people don't want to play the old fucking games, they just get the regular tiered PlayStation Plus. And if people really are interested in bringing the collection or playing those titles, an extra $10, like what's that, right? Just get this like PlayStation Plus. I don't fucking know, but I think that would be a win-win.
The PlayStation Plus.
Plus. Hey, you know what? I wanna also point out this thing. Okay, like Mike Nichols is like a CCO of Xbox. And when people were asking about the backwards compatibility numbers, Microsoft did speak out, and his tweet says, some questions today on backwards compat. Roughly 50% of Xbox One users have played over 508 million hours played past, present, future, hashtag. And Greenberg retweeted that with hashtag facts matter. And pretty much so did like a lot of the other Xbox people. So you have that. But what was funny was, and you guys probably don't even know who this is. Somebody just tweeted it to me. Orlando Jones, who is an actor, he's like, he replied to Mike Nichols. He says it's a great feature, great playing old classics. And some of my kids' favorite Xbox games were in the 360, and they love going back. Feeding frenzy. You know what I mean? So you never know. Like, look, an option is good. Like, I've seen some unbelievable damage control where this is concerned. It's like, for me, even if you don't use it, like, I don't use it a ton. I've used it here and there, but I like the option. Yeah, exactly. I like the option. You know, games run and look better. Like, if I'm going to do a Throwback Thursday review or something on a 360 game and it's backwards compatible, I'll record it on that.
But it's not even just for content creators. Like, if you look at, like, say, families and stuff who, one, this is where the Game Pass comes in great because a lot of these backwards compat games are in there. You know, this gives a lot of the younger generations games that we've played and games that we actually enjoyed, and it gives them a chance to play that. Plus, it takes a bunch of games that they already have, and they can sell them to this, like, one, make a bit more money, and two, again, because there is a lot of kids that do like these style of games, teenagers and young adults that haven't got to play any of these games. And it's a great way to go into a console where you actually have such a huge library to look at.
Yeah. In my opinion, the 360 era games were so great. There's just to give them up and, you know, not have them is a bad idea. But this story about Jim Ryan saying this about bashing backward compatibility, it was at the 1st of May, and it kind of broke mainstream a couple days ago. But the very next day on VG 247 channel, they did this article about, according to this data from Microsoft, only 2% of Xbox gamers are playing backward compatibility titles. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I did. Like I said, so the media ran with that to kind of
survey.
Yeah. And it's not even it's like when people go 54% of 360 red ring, and then you sit there and you scratch your head and you go, that can't be true, because the only ones that really red ring were the first few years. Then they switched it up, and then there was a remake in 2010, which that's when it really took off. In terms of
40-something million 360s at Red Ring. That's fucking insane.
Yeah,
and really, with the whole backwards compatibility thing, the number one issue, this is the only thing people have to say. If I bought a fucking game, whether it's a year ago, yesterday, or 6 years ago, I should be able to keep that thing, whether I play it or not.
Yep.
I paid for it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
There you go.
Right.
Yep.
No, exactly. And the idea that you can take your, like, I buy everything pretty much, especially on you know, now on Xbox One, and I have Game Pass, and I gotta say that it's pretty cool. You know, at first I was like, well, I wonder how this is gonna work. So I tried it out, and even though I have most of the games, it's still cool that I can just hop on something that I only have a physical disc for, like Halo 5. I don't need the disc. Plus I downloaded some of the 360 games that I hadn't played. I downloaded some of the Xbox One smaller games that I hadn't played.
Have you played Roundabout yet?
I did play that game, and it is absolutely one of the worst games I've ever played in my life. I don't recommend Roundabout at all. It's not even worth a review because at this point it would just be I couldn't even be bothered, to be honest with you. I had more fun reviewing I Am Mayo. You know, like that was a fun game to review.
Oh,
Roundabout
you won that game.
Oh, I love that. Hellhammer played that game too. He loved it.
What game?
I'm wondering if you like that game more for like the graphics and the.
No, I
saw some of the images from that game.
Yeah, but I liked it because it was an easy platinum trophy in about 15 minutes.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
We all know you like easy games.
Exactly. Not only that, but I was a cross-buy.
Wait
right?
a minute. How many times have I seen Crap play Knack 2 on his channel and he can't even hit an enemy?
Hold on.
Oh, expose!
There's a story.
That is because like I had my old cap card hooked up, and for some reason it wasn't outputting on the TV, and there was a delay because it wasn't the new Elgato. So like so I was trying to play.
Do you have
my
another
PC.
excuse for us?
That's just how bad it is.
I'm screwing with him because he told me that story the other day and we had a good laugh about it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That footage, and it makes Sony look so ridiculous when he's bringing up a point about Sony doing something stupid, and he shows the absolute worst gaming footage on YouTube.
It is.
It just looks like he's playing the game with his TV off. That's all.
Oh, I pick on him about that all the time. I say he like finds like the worst possible freaking gameplay to
like that Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yes,
when she's looking for her.
Yes, I still think you like downgraded that or something. I still think
downgrade anything.
I still think.
Oh my
you
god, the
took
voice
something
acting
worse.
really is that bad at parts, man.
I watched. I didn't play it personally because.
Oh, okay.
Well, GKB beat the whole game, and I didn't see
I've
the
never
point
had
in.
like voice like shit like that.
There was no problem. Yeah,
That
That was a
definitely
side
bad
quest,
editing.
by the way. That was a side quest, by the
I
way.
think
so
like
it
when you were
wasn't-
editing the video, you just hit that volume slider up. On
I
that
think
before.
so. I think so.
Nah, man, it was just really bad, and she's like, and I was like, this is so bad, it illustrates my point. I'm gonna put this right at the beginning of the video, and it made like perfect sense. And people
It's
were
amazing
like,
how you find just the one bad thing in a game. It's crazy.
I know, right? Like I must be
Weird.
lucky or something, but yeah, it was
Wow,
like,
you're not biased at all.
no, absolutely
I
not. It was
think
just
it's
like,
hilarious.
whoa. You know,
Hey,
I
we
thought
have
that game
almost
was actually
800
okay.
watching. How about hit that like button, guys?
Yeah, don't
like
make me, man. Come on, you guys, hit that like button. We got a good panel here. We're having a good time. We're talking about some cool stuff. What do you guys think about the Feel True Power and True 4K? Do you guys think that's a positive way to counteract the whole dynamic 4K stuff?
Crickets.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's a total jab. I like it.
I mean, true, right? Like, what's the opposite of true is false, right?
Well,
So
my problem is that it's a good jab on Microsoft's side, especially for people who are tech oriented.
Mhm.
But the problem is that everything
Casuals.
the problem is that everything that's marketed towards people who aren't tech oriented, dynamics sounds so much better in most people's minds like that. It's so much
true is
so
true,
that
though.
so
True
much
is true.
so much so that even like TVs and stuff, when you buy them, the default setting is dynamic settings or whatever. That's what people keep it on because they're like, that's the best setting.
Hey, hell, should I remake that video and make it like a Sony commercial and say, "Feel dynamic power," and show like goats humping each other and stuff?
You know what?
I feel like
mom and dad, hey, what's this true power all about? And mommy's like, oh, daddy gonna show me true power later on tonight, son.
A mother's gonna tell her child that, but okay.
Exactly. I don't think
Honestly, when I hear like the difference between like true power and dynamic, like
They both sound good to me.
they do, but the thing is, like dynamic, I don't know, like for someone to just like walk into a store and just hear like someone say, "Oh, dynamic," it's like, what the hell does dynamic mean?
Well, I
Yeah.
mean,
Like,
the majority of
it's-
casuals and stuff that are going to go in and like look at these consoles don't even give a two shits about like any of that stuff. That's just for us.
No, they're
Like,
not.
honestly.
They're not gonna
They're
see.
going to
it.
look at the games and seeing what's on what platform and where their friends are, and that's where they're going.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's dynamic on the box since the Pro came out. So what's the Scorpio box going to say?
true 4K.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the Xbox One X.
No,
or just
it'll
Xbox.
probably come out like native 4K or something.
I think they're going with the true 4K thing. Like if you look at the if you look at the they tweet out, they go watch the Xbox E3 conference in true 4K on Mixer.
No,
So-
that's true.
Yeah, so I think they're really
okay.
pushing that whole like true 4K thing. Like that
Right.
seems to be what they're pushing. I like that idea because again, if it's not true, it's false. Seems pretty easy to me, but I'm just a hillbilly, so I don't really know.
No, I think
It's a
that's
good-
absolutely a
it's a
good thing because it's like a lot of people don't know what that means anyway. Like, true, people can like relate to that kind of stuff. So it's actually absolutely smart, man.
Yeah,
So this is a good segue into the S with the line through it.
Yeah, like Microsoft did patent that. I mean, does anybody have a theory on this?
I don't.
That the S thing?
Yeah, like they patented an S like logo. It's
What?
I thought
IG
it could be
related.
it could be a Surface logo, but
Yeah, but the thing is, like, we all knew that they were keeping the S. Like, we all assumed that they were keeping the S in the Xbox name. So if they just wanted to spice it up a little bit, then it's really not like. And like what Colt just said, they have the Surface Pro, which I believe a new one is supposed to be coming out at the end of this year as well.
But
so
that line through it, as I'm a graphic designer, and my mind thinks they're using negative space, and the S is the line is supposed to be part of an X. I'm like, there's no way Microsoft would call this new console the SX because what would everybody call it?
Oh my god!
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, that'd be terrible.
And we all know
that would
that
be a bad
Fancy
idea.
freaking name for a console.
Well, also there was documents that there was also documents that were out that said that the S was towards a console. So. I guess obviously it has something to do with it, but again, we all assumed that the S would stay in the Xbox name anyways. As much as we all hate it in there, we still assume that it's going to stay. So for them to market a new logo for it,
craps like Xbox X or Xbox One X kind of thing.
We all know it's Xbox One Prime.
Not going to be Prime. They're not
I don't like
rolling
any
out.
of it.
Autobots transform and roll out.
Watch them be Xbox One X, and the X is going to be the exact same one that's in the middle of Mixer.
Dude, that's what I'm
That
saying.
would
You
make
know what? I
sense.
brought that up. I said, you know what, Mixer, if you look at it, half of it is blue, half of it's white. The blue is the color of like the Windows logo, and the white is the color of the Xbox logo. So X, right? Not only that, X, Roman numeral, Windows 10, X. It all makes sense to me. Like I know I'm like blowing people's minds right now. They're like, "Crap, what are you on right now?" I'm like, "Nothing, man. It's just called."
like national
being
treasure.
a gamer.
The new rumors point to it being Xbox One 10XS.
Yeah, what snake?
Some stupid
Reverse.
shit, right?
So I don't think that S trademark
Yeah.
has anything to do with Scorpio. That's my theory. It just doesn't make sense because they can only go a
Doesn't really
letter
fit
that
in
comes
anything.
after S for the new console. So it could be the Xbox One T U V W X Y, and some of those letters are just going to be crap if they do them. So yeah, X is the best guess.
Yeah, or unless that's trying to
Or
be like a
XS.
Infinity logo or something, right? Like
Have we said XS? car
Xbox
models or
XS.
something. Yeah,
That's terrible.
That is terrible.
Personally,
All right,
Xbox
Colt,
One
stop with the
XS.
brainstorm.
Yeah, really.
wait,
That's
who's to say they're not just also taking the Xbox One S that's already out and just changing the logo of that one?
Good.
Like, it's possible that new boxes are coming out that they're just
those those Xbox One S's don't even say XS on the box. They just say Xbox One, right?
They just say Xbox.
Yeah, so they're just the new Xbox.
Well, I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
it's
like,
crazy.
if
But we
they
know
were
the
to come out and
two
change
have
it,
two different cooling systems, so we know it'll look different, at least in some.
Microsoft will just sell you empty boxes like Nintendo was doing with the fucking Splatoon box.
Yeah, well, hey man, like some people like that stuff for display purposes, man.
Yeah, man.
Like,
Somebody said in excess.
I mean,
Nice thing.
now speaking of how it's going to look, Larry Herb, he recently did an interview, and when he was talking to like this developer guy, he said the Xbox Scorpio dev kit looks quote unquote completely different than that of the retail model, and he's like, it has different buttons and different display. Like
he said different buttons or it has buttons?
He said different buttons and display, right? So
I think he said no display, right? I think he said the display was the difference between the dev kit and the console.
Maybe, but I had people
Because
ask
he already
me, like,
confirmed there was not going to be a display.
I know there's not going to be a display. It would make no sense. But I had people tweet me. They're like, "Did you hear? He said that it has a different display."
No.
I'm like, I
Well,
don't
maybe they-
know.
Maybe they want to throw back that old school VCR look and have like a clock there.
Well, they
flashes
would
12.
they would just make it look like a PS4 Pro Dev Kit.
Oh my god.
Your Xbox Scorpio and it flashes 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock.
That would really help with the whole like it's a VCR thing. Which did you guys see? Like they posted those pictures up in NeoGAF, right? The dev kits, and people were like, "Those are so ugly." And then somebody posted the PS4 and PS4 Pro dev kits, which look like these big bricks, right?
Yeah,
And,
From like
it's like-
1970.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
I think that was me. Somebody was bashing on me and saying that thing looks like an outdated VCR. So quickly, I just went to Google and I wrote 1970s VCR, and I found that PS4 Pro or the Neo dev kit. I'm like, holy crap! It's all like stainless steel and ugly and like big chunky buttons. It's like, don't give me that crap.
Exactly. But then once you do that, then people shut up and they're like, "Hey, what's going on with that?" You know what I mean? Like, it's
This is a damn good looking dev kit compared to that shit.
exactly. Hey, now I got something that GKB might perk up with. Ubisoft trademarked Splinter Cell. Like we were all wondering, hey, is this thing going to be a thing? I had heard that this was a long time thing in development, and they were going to actually show it off last year. Decided not to at the last minute because it wasn't ready. Ironside supposedly back. But today I wake up to people with like people find this shit out. Like they must just be on these things. Like
Dude, they are. They watch it like a hawk, bro.
yeah. So they trademarked the new Splinter Cell. Like literally just did it. And when you do that right before E3, it usually means something. Unless you're Microsoft, then if you trademark extend scalebound, it doesn't mean absolutely anything, according to most people. But yeah, Ubisoft doing this right before E3 definitely means we're gonna see some kind of Splinter Cell, which I've been saying all along. Like GKB, I know you've been looking forward to this.
Yeah.
I'm hoping. Don't be no open world game.
Oh,
Don't
God.
do it.
No.
So fucking, I'll be so mad, dude.
Just try on this game, Ubisoft. Just do that. Try that one.
Yes. Try like yes, please. Like what do you think,
Stop
GKB?
trying.
I don't know, man. Like, you know, I want to be like, I want Splinter Cell to be like that linear game that I just know and love. But you're looking at like what Ubisoft's been doing, they're just all open world games, man. It's just, I don't know how it's going to be pulled off. Yeah, with Splinter Cell and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, man. Like, I'm still excited for it. I try not to talk too much about Splinter Cell because I don't want to get overhyped, and then they fucking don't even like show anything.
Well,
so
here's
well.
Phone game.
Here's what they're
it's
gonna
like a
do,
cell phone
right?
game, yeah.
It's gonna be like Splinter Cell meets Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Oh, for
Yeah, I'll fucking lose my
Ghost
shit. bro.
Recon.
Yeah,
Wow,
but
Splinter
what
Cell.
if they're finally getting the hint that those games just aren't working very well?
They ain't getting the hint yet.
Yeah, they want to try it with
Maybe
every
they're
IP
gonna
they have.
It's their way of
Selling,
making a
that's the
story
problem.
game with no story or
Yeah,
or narrative.
Wildlands sold really well. That's the problem.
It's
I'm a
still
huge-
selling well.
And I'm a
You know,
huge fan of.
Well, the
Splinter-
Division sold well too, but
that was a hell of a
doesn't mean
first
it
week when the
wasn't.
division admitted.
Yeah, 2 weeks, bro.
it was okay. I'm not
The
gonna lie.
first 2
like,
hours.
Yeah.
when it comes to Ubisoft, like this, I have to say, like, Ubisoft has to be like my Achilles heel because, like, I love the games that Ubisoft comes out with, but I hate the games once they release and I've played them because
I-
they're just so
Yeah, I agree
broken.
with you, Fuel. I always say Ubisoft has the best. They have the best ideas for
The best
games.
ideas, I agree, man.
They never implement them correctly. Like they get in some boardroom like, this is gonna be awesome. This open world, you could do this and this. That's awesome. All right, let's just kind of.
That's not to be commended though, because all they do is they release the game and compromise. They don't finish the games. They never do.
Yeah.
So you know, who gives a shit about their ideas? They don't ever execute them, and it's
Never.
just a matter of time before people are like, you know what, I'm done. This isn't going to be. I think Assassin's Creed will help revitalize that this year because they actually took their time. But other than that, they haven't made a great finished game since Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Speaking of that, and we
I
can go
agree.
back to Splinter Cell real quick. Assassin's Creed Origins, like a Target leak card for that. It's going to be called Assassin's Creed Origins, and it's 100% in Egypt.
Okay,
Yeah.
seriously, crap. We already knew that.
I don't like that name. Though. That's
That
not a
has
good
been-
name for like a
That has
reboot.
been going around forever.
No,
though.
I
Like,
know,
everybody
but
knew
just
it was
today
going
they
in
just
Egypt.
leaked the actual like this picture of a pre-order card from Target,
Yeah.
and so I like it. It's Egypt. So like we had heard that it would probably be Egypt, and we knew that.
Well, no, they dropped images like a couple weeks ago that were Egypt. Like,
on.
seriously,
God,
crap.
crap, where
This
have
is
you been?
old. We already talked about this.
Okay, my bad, guys. My bad. I'm sorry. Okay, so
You
again,
picked
like
on
with
me
you,
yesterday, I'm picking on you today.
I know it's hilarious. I love it. You know. So anyway, so Splinter Cell again. Like I like what Ubisoft is doing with some games, but again, like the Rainbow Six Siege thing, like only online only. I'm not a big fan of that. I guess Ghost Recon Wildlands is like that. Division. They didn't have enough, and same thing with
For Honor. It's fucking peer-to-peer and always online.
Yeah, like if you're gonna do an always online multiplayer game, don't make it peer-to-peer.
That's just DRM at that point. There is no need.
Everybody, we're connected to the fucking internet. It's a thing. Like it's always.
It's the principle.
Move on.
It's the principle behind the matter. It's bullshit, and their servers suck. So it's a problem.
It's not bullshit, man. Your phone is connected all the fucking time.
Get the hell out of here, GKB. It is peer-to-peer.
So is a bunch of other games. Like who cares, man?
Like what other games are peer-to-peer and always online, GKB?
I don't know. Like off the top.
All right, go Google some and come back.
Either way, it's still fine, bro. It's not a fucking big deal. Like I hear this fucking compliment. This fucking is always the thing. Like, oh my god, it's always online. It's only so what? Everything is online today.
Okay, yeah,
it's okay to do it just because it's being done. Okay, gotcha.
Well, he does make a good point because we were throwing a fit in 2013 when they said the Xbox One was going to be always online, but
I wasn't.
on my 360. I was always online.
I've been online since the Dreamcast, so I'm like, hey, cool. You know,
the problem is it's Ubisoft and their servers suck, and it's not necessary peer-to-peer. It's
always
just not
online is a problem if you're on PSN.
Hey, yeah, I'm not gonna
it is not that big of a deal because, like you said, most of us do spend most of our time online, and for the most part, most of us should have fairly reliable internet this day and age. But there are times when, like, there's particular services that go down that are related to games, and you fire it up, and it won't let you access because everything now needs to check your account and fucking double approve it, and you know what I mean. Like pretty soon we're gonna have to fucking start using fingerprints to sign in.
Like Crackdown, Noof, I completely understand. Like physics compute from the cloud. Yeah, of course you're gonna need online.
That's gonna be on dedicated servers.
I do. I do think it's going to be a dedicated service because they get the cloud compute and the destruction.
Yeah, I know. Well, obviously, plus that all their first party stuff is on dedicated servers. So I'm
waiting for those third party devs to take advantage of that, right?
Oh, that would be absolutely fantastic. But you know what? Here's the thing: we are always online and stuff, but peer to peer does suck. I don't really care so much about the always online thing, but the peer to peer aspect of games in 2017, especially when you have Microsoft offering free servers to people still. Is a little bit bad. Just look at the things that we have with like Friday the 13th. Not that I want to get all into that, but I mean, hopefully they've kind of fixed that. I guess I don't know, but you know that's a good example. And same thing with
For Honor's taken a muff dive since it came out. It's pretty bad. Nobody left.
Yeah. Exactly. So, exactly. So that's my point. Like, I don't mind online because I thought Titanfall 1 was great. People love Destiny. Like GKB, you and she will love Destiny. You're looking forward to Destiny too.
I'm pretty sure Destiny 2 came out a few years ago.
You have a pony croaking in the room?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, the thing with Destiny for me personally is they took out the Grimoire cards. So that right there has me kind of excited.
Oh, I cannot wait for my news feed to be just slammed with Zur is standing over in this corner this week.
Wait, I don't even know when people say that. I don't even know what that means.
Crapgamer's gonna buy part 2 and then play it for the week and then get totally smacked on it or not be good at it at all or be confused and be like, yeah, I'm done.
That never happens to me. I'm never confused by games, folks. This is that's more propaganda from Hellhammer trying to make me look bad. Believe it. Like I can tell you 100%. I'm very good at games.
We believe it, man. You're the guy found a way to get a full Pringle inside your PC case, man.
I'm excited for Destiny 2, but in all reality, Destiny 2 is literally just a new DLC that isn't going to be attached to Destiny 1.
Yeah,
yep, exactly.
And it'll still like.
I am excited for it though because I do want to play. I'm an MMO.
One of the highest selling games this year.
It probably will. Like I'm a really big MMO fan, so to have it come to like that kind of game come to consoles, I'm super excited for. So it just gives me that MMO niche.
There's going to be huge games though coming up right up against it. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is going to be huge coming up at the same time. God of War and Days Gone might be here.
I don't like
God of War ain't going to be there, but Days Gone could be.
Yeah, I'm hearing Days Gone might be.
Yeah. I can see that because I can see that go up against State of Decay 2.
You guys realize Sony's got like 3 games this holiday. That's all they have, and they've been talking trash all year.
But hold on. I actually came to I've tried to explain this a few times. Sony's major releases always seem to be in the spring, and Xbox usually releases their titles in the fall. So for them to turn around, like for a lot of people to say that they don't have any fall games, that's where they cover their bases with having these the marketing deals to a lot of these multi-plat games, like Call of Duty Destiny 2, they have Battlefront 2. With them having those games, it still has the PlayStation name, and gamers who are going in for Christmas are going to see these blue posters when they go into gaming sites, or even online, or whether it's, you're walking into GameStop, Walmart. Sorry, not Walmart. Apparently they keep everything equal, but other places, anyways, you walk in there, you're going to see Sony. So they're already covering their bases, and then they release their AAA titles usually in the spring. So
yeah, and everyone has a loss of memory when 6 months passes, because they're like, Xbox has no games. Like, oh, wait a minute, we got Forza Horizon plus Blizzard Mountain and Hot Wheels. We had Dead Rising 4. We had Halo Wars 2. Help me out, guys.
Recore. We had Gears of War 4.
They have a lot of games.
Yes.
Yes, a lot of people don't like to point that out, but that is a little bit of Microsoft's fault, only because of their marketing. They don't tend to promote all of their AAA titles the way that they should be, and I think that is a little lacklusting. But at the same time, yes, they do actually release even their indie games, because I noticed a lot of PlayStation fans, they will release these big lists with a lot of indie titles, but when they do the Xbox games, they don't include all the Xbox ID games, and that's actually a lot of indie titles that are created, and they are actually really good games.
Nobody ever brings up The Culling or City Skylines or Astroneer or any of these games, or Candleman, or these games.
Nobody cares about those games.
Well, here's the thing, but they'll bring up the walking simulators on PS4 side, or Fat Princess reviews, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Or pedophiles.
Even though Candleman was a hell of a game.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I think we can get over the fact that that's happening. It's just one of those battles you can't win. It really doesn't matter,
Because Sony put out 30 games this spring, but nobody I know bought them.
Yeah, but that's going to be on every list, and the reason.
And that fucking argument for Forza, Halo, and Gears. Forza, Halo, and Gears. Yeah, they got Forza, Halo, and Gears, but fucking Sony's always got their God of War, their Uncharted, their fucking Gran Turismo games. And then you look at Nintendo. Nintendo never launches a console without Mario, Zelda, and some Mario Kart game, or fucking Smash Brothers, and nobody bitches at them the same as they bitch at Microsoft. It's guys, you have to expect that.
Mario Kart. I'm just saying.
No, I want to give shout out to New for saying Mario Kart.
Mario Kart. Yeah.
Sounds like Ricky.
See, I'm not the only one that says Mario.
It's Mario.
I'm telling you, it's a Canadian thing.
It's Mario Kart.
It's Mario.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what kind of thing it is. It's still the wrong way to pronounce it.
You are right. They will say that's all we got is maybe racers and shooters.
It's Mooch.
Mooch is
I
here.
had no idea how to make the entrance, so I figured once I heard Mario said wrong, that was a perfect time for. What's going on, everybody?
Hey, Mooch, thank you for joining us, man.
Hey, man,
I appreciate
thanks
it.
for having me, Crap. This is a star-studded lineup, first of all, and it's E3 week. This is our Super Bowl, right?
It is. It's going to be insane. Everybody is excited. We were talking about some of the stuff, just to catch up, because we hadn't got your take yet. What did you think about the secret messages in some of Microsoft's advertising?
I gotta be honest with you. I thought it was great. I had fun going through it. You were sending me some pictures. It was my Ovaltine decoder kit came out. It was fun, but at the same time, I'm kind of curious. Should we believe these codes? The dates, the price thing, that R2D2 magazine you pulled up. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, do you think we're really going to get it on October 13th? I mean, is it going to be under $400? Of course, 6 is greater than 4.
Attaboy.
I said everything seems plausible except the whole image thing, because again, Google, you can search anything. So just because you write in a code, you're going to get everything. And that image was not made just for that. It's an old magazine. So
I don't think they'd leak the price in a coding where you could crack it, but the release date, I think that's something that they would sneak in there.
The release date I'm buying. I'm definitely buying that. The whole price thing, that's a stretch.
The 6.4 thing, we already knew that it was going to be 6 teraflops. We already knew that.
Rub it in a bit.
It is, but I'm just saying, in all, we already knew. They already announced that. So that's really not a big surprise. But the release date, that was definitely something that was being pushed around. And for them to kind of leak that is not really a big deal because a lot of people started guessing it anyways because of the fact of Shadow of War. Like that was a big game when it came, like when we heard about that game, it was a huge thing that was going around the Scorpio. They're like, it's going to get the full effect with Scorpio. Like they kept saying it over and over and over again. So for them to like all of a sudden delay that game to October just kind of made sense.
Where are we as a society? Okay, you remember back in the day in the 80s movies, they're like, in order to get this cryptic message, we have to play this record backwards. Where are we at this point in our lives where they expect us to freeze frame by 1 in 28ths at speed to slow down their coming attraction to see these hints? This is ridiculous. I mean, I couldn't believe that this was actually happening.
I think it's smart. I think it's smart.
Can I just point something?
Oh, it's definitely smart, but I mean, we're rewinding everything.
Mooch, I just want to point out one thing. You have a lot of gamers that, for instance, Destiny's a good one. They find glitches. They literally go through games and pick them apart to where they can get through things faster. Or, they literally pull so much things apart nowadays to like find these hidden things, Easter eggs, all that kind of stuff. That's why they're put into games. So are you really surprised that it would be put into a trailer? It's the same thing. It's an Easter egg.
That's true. They've made their coming attractions a game, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it's like old Beatle records where you got to play them backwards, and he's like, "I buried Paul." Like I'm waiting for something.
Is it
something to come out? Like I buried PS4 Pro. You know what I mean? Like
the release date, they can sneak that in early because that's not like the jaw dropping announcement at E3. The release site say, "Oh, that's when it's coming out." That's not. You don't need to wait at bated breath to say that, but the price and the name, they can't release that early. But that's why I agree with Sewell. They can sneak that release date in there and let gamers dig to find it. I think that's one thing they can let go.
Also, did anyone put together that their whole amusement park thing kind of goes with Bethesda's whole amusement park thing?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that is a good point. I mean, it's no.
What is Bethesda's carnival thing? What did I miss there?
They did a big illustration
the
of like
new attractions coming to their Bethesda land kind of thing, and then Xbox releases a trailer that's all done in pretty much amusement parks with the Ferris wheel and everything else like that. Like
and you were meant to kind of decode this illustration of this Bethesda Disneyland park to figure out what could be announced from Bethesda Studios. So
all right.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I don't know. It could just be coincidence, but I just thought it was.
Well, here's the thing. Here's why we know, and shout out to Crap for doing a little bit of this research. Shout out to Red Dragon for doing his research too.
Well, we both got sent stuff, man. People sent us this stuff, so
I figured something was up with that. But I mean, here's the thing. Albert Pinello, and a lot of this, if I'm rehashing folks in the audience, I apologize. I'm catching up. I'm actually trying to catch up with the chat when I first did my little intro, and I also like to take a moment here. First of all, let me say Albert Pinello kind of backed it all up with you guys have sharp eyes. But I'd like to take a minute real quick, Crap, and I hate to do that during your show.
No, go ahead.
A couple of great things happened today. Noof hit 1,000 people on Twitter, which was a huge move. I just want to say congratulations, buddy.
Nice.
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate that. That was awesome. I didn't think I hitting 1,000 people in just over a year. That's crazy.
I helped out one of the 1,000. I helped you.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other thing that's great is, I mean, it's always great to be with the usual suspects, Dealer, Hellhammer, She-Wolf, GKB, some of the greats. But it's an honor to be with Cult. Cult, first time I actually get to talk to you, listen to a lot of your work. So it's good to be with you here.
Yeah,
absolutely, bro.
The honor is here. I've followed you guys for a long time, and to get an invite today from Crap, I was like, yeah. I did the Kip from Napoleon Dynamite. Yes,
that's awesome. When I saw this, I saw the company track. I said, "Oh wow, Colt's joining the group. This is great." So we can get back to gaming material, but I'm coming in late, so I'm catching up to the chat. Wanted to say hello to the panel. Great panel tonight. So yeah, Crap, take it away. I apologize. I had to say my piece there.
No, it's all good. I agree. It's really good to have everybody here. Sony came out and said they aren't afraid of Scorpio, but then they're like, okay, well, we got this silver and gold PS4 that we're going to sell for $249 E3 week, and we went and bought all the marketing rights for basically every game to prevent games from being shown on Scorpio. We back-talked and trash-talked backwards compatibility, but yeah, we're not afraid of Scorpio at all.
And we got
what you guys drive. Yeah, and we got rid of the Blu-ray drive. So, I mean, what you guys just thought, the silver and gold PS4, I don't think they look great, to be honest with you. I mean, they look okay. I just like the
Trump edition. It's in gold.
Yeah. I just he likes gold. I just think it looks like a regular, PS4 Slim. But for me, I just like the matte black PS4s. To be honest with you,
That's the color I think Scorpio will hit, and is probably black.
Matte
I
black.
here hate the shiny fucking stuff. I despise it because then all you see is every peck of fucking dust, and I can't stand dust. It drives me absolutely bonkers. That, and I hate fucking controllers that people come over to your house to use your goddamn controllers and get their fucking jizz crumbs or whatever the hell they got on their fingers. Like,
Chill.
Jizz crumbs.
I have to
come over your house, bro. Jesus.
I have to agree with Duke though. Like anything that's
What do you have over there?
When you go over to Noose house after you're done playing, he goes, "Give me that," and he takes out his little handkerchief. He's like,
microfiber cloth, bro.
Like,
absolutely, man. I fucking
Saving these crumbs for later.
That stuff. You never know when you're gonna have to stick a Joy-Con up your asshole. You know what I'm saying?
Shots fired.
save it for cross.
You know what bothered me, crap? It wasn't the gold and silver ones. It was actually the one that I saw that was tweeted out by Lawbreakers and their 8 followers. I don't know if you guys saw that. That was, this is what I got a problem with. All right, it's the same that we went through with the Titanfall folks, and it was a little worse with them because it was on both systems. At least here, it's dedicated to PS4, so you understand the bias. But realistic, that's just a jab, And listen, it's always safe. It's always safe. When you got the gym class and you're divvied up for dodgeball, it's always safe to go on the team that's got the big boys. Of course, Sony's got the big boys right now. They get the sales numbers. So, yeah, for Lawbreakers, way to take the safe road, guys. Way to take the first check.
What did they say on Twitter, Mooch?
It was just Lawbreaker sent out a customized PS4 with the Lawbreaker symbol on it. Just like we've seen Destiny and everything else. It was a white PS4 Pro. And they weren't saying, I don't know if they were collector's items or they just did that one skin to brag. But, it's just the nonsense that's been going on this entire generation. I'm really hoping for all of Xbox fans' sake, and I'm hoping for Microsoft's sake as well, they put a lot of work into Scorpio, that Scorpio turns the ship for them a little bit so that some of these developers actually have no problem putting their logo on a box and tweeting it out a couple weeks or months ahead of time before their launch. It's just a bunch of the shit that you see online every day. And people are like, why are you so salty, Mooch? It's not the idea that. It's just that, could you honestly believe that every developer, every single person in the gaming media they all cater to Sony? Something's not right over there. That's why I always say, for God's sake, can we open up a gaming media slot in New York? For God's sake, can we get another opinion?
At the end of the day, Bush, really, those 5 people that are actually going to buy Lawbreakers, whoopee, you get a fucking.
Oh, absolutely.
Nobody's talking about Lawbreakers. Nobody has been talking about
the same 5 people are the only people that bought Titanfall 2. But that's not my point. I had to do where's the ba-dum bump when I need one. But in reality,
it's kind of the principle of the matter, huh, Mooch?
Yes, it really
is.
Do you think it's like they're bullied into being favorable, like they just jump on the bandwagon and just say, well, everybody else loves PlayStation, so we'll just kind of ignore Microsoft on this one?
I think right now, just like it is to be a YouTuber and come out and be pro Xbox, it takes the same kahunas to be a developer and be pro Xbox or a gaming site. They just don't want to do it. They don't want to put up with the nonsense. You had a lot of people at Xbox and gaming media that talked to a lot of people that did YouTube, and now they refrain from talking because God forbid you're friends with somebody who's pro Xbox, and it's like, that's the problem right now. And I'm hoping we'll find out in a couple of months. Well, I'm hoping that Scorpio turns the page.
Also drama sells. And
yes, true.
Sony doesn't I'm not saying that this is for everybody, obviously. And truthfully, this isn't really a complete shot at Sony either, because it's really to the social media themselves. When it comes to a lot of things that we're seeing in the social media of bashing Xbox, Phil Spencer, Aaron Greenberg, and even Michael Barra, Larry Erb, they come out and they tweet. They tweet almost everything that they do. They fill, all the gamers in on what they're doing, how things are going, where Sony doesn't. So when the social media actually does something, they get a reaction from Xbox and the Xbox fans because they are so put into the social media of things that you see that. So that feeds into their views, that feeds into all obviously they need views, they need to make the money that way. So it's the best way for them to do it. Sony doesn't reply to anything. They keep to themselves. Understandable. It could be their culture, whatever it is. But that's where I think a lot of this comes into. Drama sells.
Yeah. Hey, one time I tweeted to Yoshida, congratulations on winning an MPD, and he replied back, thanks. So me and him are pretty tight. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You got that PSVR, man?
In his head, I know who this fucker is.
Yeah. He's like, hey, thanks. He probably was like, hey, man, maybe we can get this big old Xbox fanboy on Team PlayStation. But I think that was me. Like, I can't remember if that was the crap gamer, like, slightly going Hollywood Hogan, or if that was just me trolling. I can't remember what the hell I was doing at that particular point in time. But I could have been straddling that Hollywood Hogan line where I was like, Microsoft's messing up again. What are they doing? But now it's like I'm really excited and happy for a lot of the stuff that they're doing, and I'm excited once again for E3.
Oh wait, is this the same time that you wanted to return your copy of something? Because
I was going to cancel a pre-order.
Yes, that's it. You were going to
play his
cancel
game,
pre-order.
Which was never even the. Never mind. I'm not.
Someone else.
Who's that guy on Twitter? Who's that guy on Twitter that you told you were going to cancel? Who's that guy again?
Phil Spencer.
Oh, Phil Spencer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, I told him. I was like, man, I'm going to cancel my pre-order. He's like, you're going to cancel your pre-order because someone else gets to play the game? And I was like, no, what?
Yeah, we were all there. We saw it.
I was like, no. I still have the screenshot.
Hey, better you than me, buddy. Better you than me.
Again, crap, I told you, it is the way you word things when you tweet things out that comes
Hey, I'm very careful with how I tweet things out.
How else would you word that?
Crap is just a master at marketing himself. That's all.
Yes. Hey, dealer gets it. Dealer gets it. Props to you. Hey, Microsoft says no VR at E3 this year on their stage. So
You know, crap. Why is it they announced that? And I think of you immediately because you are
They
so
will have VR.
Crap just wants games. I tweeted you a picture of Starscream after that. I don't know if you saw
I
that.
have been waiting. Hold on. I have actually been waiting so long to hear Mooch's reply to the fact that Crap actually likes VR. And I would love to hear your opinion on it, Mooch, because I'm dying to hear it.
Well, it's a shock, right? It was a shock. It was like when I found out Pluto wasn't a fucking planet. You know, it was kind of disheartening at first, and then you come around to it. You know, the thing about it is this: he's enjoying. If you have to listen to Crap's whole thing on VR is kind of like Microsoft's bursts of Scorpio commercials. You got to rewind it and play it slow 100 times. But when you actually listen to him, what he's telling you is he's saying that the experience was great. And there's no doubt that the experience is great. But what I did was, because Crap's a good friend of mine and I respect him, I actually went and watched an IGN. I don't know if it was the IGN first on Farpoint, and I watched the developers did a 5-6 minutes. Yeah, and they were showing it, and I definitely see what Crap means. Where you aim the gun and it's a controller, it's more precise, it's probably more realistic. You're there. But the problem is it's just a step or two above like an N64 graphic, and it just doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't interest me. I don't feel like killing the spiders from Super Troopers.
It looks better.
It probably does. I'm being a bit.
It does look better than that. Like to this point, right? Like I thought that it was pretty cool when I actually sat down and used the PlayStation VR, anyways. You know, for any length of time. But for me, it felt more like it was cool to mess around with. It was cool to be like, wow, you know, you kind of feel like you're in this or whatever. You know, it's definitely.
No, you control it. No, you control it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's not on rails. There is some stuff that is on rails. But a lot of what the games and stuff reminded me of anyways, though, was a lot of like old school like arcade games, you know, like that Jurassic Park game where you get inside the arcade, you like shoot dinosaurs, like that kind of thing. Like they kind of had a big throwback to that kind of feel.
Now, Hellhammer, answer me this. So you played it. Sounds like you thoroughly enjoyed your experience. However,
the experience was good.
Did you just can't wait for this podcast to get over to throw that helmet on and start sweating again on your couch?
I mean, yeah, I'm definitely not at that point. Like, I think it's cool. If it was just a tad bit cheaper, I'd probably go. I'd probably go out and buy one myself.
Let me see if the panel. Let me see if the panel agrees with this thought. If you have a friend or a neighbor, okay, or a coworker that says, "Hey, I think VR is neat. We should get into it." And this goes for Sony, Microsoft, Oculus. I don't care. Okay. Go halves with your buddy. Go halves. Let your buddy use it for a little while, then use it. Hey, you mind if I get the VR back again this weekend? I got, you know, the kids want to try. Like,
Nuke will never go for it because someone else's sweat will be on his headset.
That's true. I don't want to use his exact words that he used for his controller, but yes.
I don't want your eye cheese in my headset. Come on.
Why are there just flakes in my headset?
Yeah. I mean,
the biggest barrier for me with VR is to get out of my game room and go talk to my wife, and I have this sweaty red line around my face, and I look like a total douchebag.
Yes.
And that's the thing. I'm watching hentai.
It's already bad enough, right? The wife walks in, you're playing a game. It's one thing.
I'm like, use
then you take
Doom.
Then you take the helmet off. It looks like you've been welding for 6 hours. The whole thing's a mess. The one thing is, but she will ask a question. I'll end it with this, and then let the panel take it from here. Here's the whole Crap has talked less and less and less about VR because he was a new customer. It was hot while it was hot, and now it's over. And
I hear that a lot.
It's unfortunately, folks, it's over. It jumped the shark.
Flash in
Sony,
the pan.
yeah, it really was.
Hey,
Sony,
I like VR. I don't talk about it because people get tired of hearing me talk about it.
When's the last time you played it, Crap?
Like 3 days ago.
That's too long ago.
Honestly,
Well,
I'm waiting for
I haven't
somebody
really been
to
feeling
like.
that great. So yeah, I haven't really been playing much of anything, but yeah, it's I still like it, man. It's just like right now, like I said, I haven't been feeling good, but I got games on there that I'm looking forward to hopping back on. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I just, like I said, people get tired.
My take is it's all about the immersion, guys. At the end of the day, it's something different, and again, it's more of an experience than it is a full-fledged gaming device, but it's just to do something new, and I can totally understand where Crap is coming from. I still think the price just eliminates it from being a real mass market item right now, but maybe once the technology comes along and it does drop, we'll see it pick up. I mean, there's lots of potential for VR to go in a lot of places. Will I ever buy it? I don't really know. It doesn't interest me a whole lot, but I guess it's much like cars, to kind of use like a mooch analogy here. What's the difference between, say, driving your Honda Civic than a Ferrari? They're both cars. They both move forward, backwards, blah, blah, blah. But a Ferrari, not many people get to drive a Ferrari, and it's the experience. It's the fact that it goes much faster and it looks much cooler. So VR is kind of in that niche, where market, but I don't know. Like, it's still a long ways to go. I think Sony jumped the gun out there. They're trying it out, but we know what Sony's track record is with long-lasting peripherals, guys, and it's not overly good. I mean, the Vita's fucking gone. The Move.
Well, the thing is that like
kind of way to reuse those Move controllers.
When I was playing the VR stuff, to me, the experiences or there wasn't so much the games itself that I enjoyed. It was more the experiences where you could look around and explore like a world or whatever, for 10, 15 minutes here or there. That kind of stuff was what
scared the hell out of you too. I'm just throwing that out there.
Did you play the game with the shark when you were in the cage?
Yeah, I did play that game actually.
How many times did you yell?
None.
None. He yelled. He was playing like some All That Remains game where these little kangaroo monsters come at you or whatever. And then
the damn thing just appeared behind me. I was like, "What the hell?"
He goes, "Ah!" And then he's like, "I'm done with that."
Somebody was they'd make an It VR experience.
For me,
the fucking new movie that would fucking creep the shit out of people.
For me, the $500 is like the pay barrier. It's it's just too much.
That's the main problem, and the thing is that I think that I don't think that VR has a long time to go because of how fast tech is moving. But I do think that as far as for a console version, I think that Sony jumped into it a little bit ahead of the game.
Okay, let me ask. Here's a crazy wild one. I'll ask the panel this: when you guys bought the first Kinect, did you guys have fun with it the first couple days? Like smile, have a good time, have fun?
I never bought the first Kinect.
I bought it.
I loved playing Kinectimals.
I played like the Kinect Adventures with my family, and then Dance Central is actually a solid Kinect game, and we've had fun with that. But after a couple days, you're like, wow, $250 for that? Yeah. And I just feel the same way with VR. Yeah. And a lot of my friends went and bought the Oculus Rift when it went on sale. They bought the Vive and stuff. I had a lot of them who had returned it because I just don't think it offers. When we sit down to game, we want the controller, we want to look at our big TV, we want to have the surround sound on or a headset. And I just think of that immersion. I don't think the trade-off isn't there. The immersion isn't worth everything else.
I use the same analogy, and the problem is it just works that well. And I'm using this analogy to the audience that's our age. I know the panel, except for Hellhammer, is in the same age group, and actually Gamer's a little younger too. Dealer, excuse me. But my point is that when we were in the arcade days, when you had the $2.50 machine that was in the back, that was actually the racing car, the one that was the booth, and it was like $2.50. That was a great experience. You did it maybe 2-3 weekends in a row, and then you went back up to the ones that were the 50-cent machines, and you were just playing with the sticks and the 6 buttons, because that was just the way it was. You didn't want to go and hang out in the booth, right? All your friends were playing Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat, pinball, whatever they're playing, right? They're playing all these great games, and then all of a sudden you're like, would you take, even if someone gave you $100 for, which was ridiculous in arcade terms, to go into that booth in the back right and spend all night? Where you been all night, Mooch? The booth. That booth. I can't get out of that booth. Now when you have the booth is the equivalent of you sitting on your couch now, immersed with 65 wires, standing up, looking like you're reaching for a plate of pizza that's not really there. And then you got this welding mask, like burnt face. Like I say, listen, there's no doubt that it's a good time. And I can't sit here and tell anyone it's not a good time. But what I can tell you is that it's a good time for a short time. And that's the problem.
It's a gaming equivalent of cocaine.
Let me know when the games on VR are just as great as the ones we're playing on our TV. You know, like
right. And that's what I was getting at, right? Like that's why I was saying Sony jumped into it ahead of the game because the tech isn't quite there yet to where it's cheap enough and where there you can put a big enough like a AAA, like a true title, and not just play it in some kind of hacked up mode and actually play it like legitimately from start to finish in VR with the motion controls and everything, with no glitches or any fuck ups.
Honestly,
basically,
I have a different perspective of whole VR and Xbox and all that kind of stuff, right? We already know they already said that they're not going to have VR on there, but I think Bethesda's and all of them are working on the VR set, and they're really close with Xbox and all that kind of stuff. So I think Bethesda's probably going to show their VR stuff because they talked about it last year, and it's probably going to be compatible with Scorpio and all that kind of stuff. So that's probably why they're not showing any kind of VR, because they have other people that's doing it for them.
Yeah, because Todd Howard said that Fallout VR is just going to be totally awesome, and maybe it's not ready till next year, but go
ahead. For us, they'd have to make Fallout awesome.
Oh, come on! I gotta say this. You guys remember last year when Xbox gamers had to hear so much crap about how amazing PSVR was going to be with Batman and Star Wars VR? Remember that last year? It was like all the rage. You remember?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. I remember.
No one talked to. I don't even know if that game ever came out because none of my friends, none of the people I talked to, even talk about that Batman or that Star Wars game.
The Batman VR is great.
I was gonna say, Crap has played the Batman. We all heard how great he loves being able to play Batman.
I'm Batman.
Let me be honest. Batman. Crap, did you play the whole game and just rub your bat nipples the whole time?
No, I was like, I was playing it, and I was like, dude, Hellhammer, it's amazing. I'm going down to the Bat Cave. I'm playing the piano to go down in the cave. And
when I say that Crapgamer, when he first started playing the VR, and he was like the kid from the Sega CD commercial back in the day, where he was like, "Whoa, that was fucking Crapgamer."
Well, I was standing up, and you're looking over the edge, and I almost fell over. So then I sat down, and I was like, "Okay, this is better to be seated because you literally like look around. That's like, the point of it." So.
And then you should have I really wish I'd have had video of him when he was playing Drive Club VR, because that was hilarious.
I closed my eyes and took the thing off. I was like, I can't do it.
I do find like the VR is like a neat idea, but truthfully, I was able to buy like one of those like cheap freaking cardboard box ones that you can use with your phone and play like mobile app games that look just as good and got like pretty much the exact same idea without having to have like all these cords hanging off of my head. So like the idea is cool. I still don't think it's here yet. I still think it needs a little work. I would be more excited to see AR than VR. So, but that's just my personal opinion.
Here's the thing, and that's a good statement, She-Wolf, but I've been doing a lot more thinking and reading about it, and I don't think AR is actually going to be any more beneficial in gaming unless you're talking about like Minecraft or puzzle. Yeah, no, I think for other applications, AR is much better because, like you say, you don't lose yourself from reality.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to AR, though, like, truthfully, I think it would be a lot more beneficial to game developers who can actually see their creations come to life as they're working on them.
Okay.
I think that would be an amazing experience. Like, when they did, like, the Halo stuff, when you were actually walking into, like, Master Chief's, like, thing, and there was, like, the figure of him and stuff. Like, stuff like that, I think would be a really neat idea to pull into AR. I do find, like, AR is kind of more focused on creators than the casual gamer kind of thing. Like, even like doctors and all that use it for school, but I just think that is more of like beneficial in the long run than creating a VR, like working on having a VR.
I mean, for me, I think that would be awesome to have AR enabled Halo, where just even if it just had like Master Chief's HUD right in front of your face, like I think that would be awesome. That's my personal opinion for
the
that.
day that they create a chamber like in that movie Gamer, then I'm for it. Until then, nah.
Yeah, that'd be cool if you're like Star Wars and you were like playing as a stormtrooper and you could literally pick up a helmet off of like a table and then slide it down over your head and then you would like basically look out through the actual like visor that a stormtrooper has. That'd be like dope ass.
Hell yeah!
Like even if you're just playing like a standard game like on your TV at that point, I think that's just a cool idea. It's another form of immersion. It's not maybe quite as immersive as VR, but it still allows you to communicate with people in the room with you.
Mooch. Let me ask you this: Death Stranding not going to be at E3.
Oh.
Red Dead 2 not going to be at E3.
Oh, did you read my tweets earlier? Apparently,
I did. What are your thoughts on that? I mean,
well, here's my thoughts. Before we even comment on that, why don't we comment on all the people? Okay, the Xbox people, the Sony people, everybody that's down on it. Because I say Xbox because there's a lot of Xbox people that are down on Xbox as well. And
not me lately, man.
No. Actually, believe it or not, that's present company accepted. And the problem is that they were like, "Oh my God, Microsoft's not going to have this." And I look at Sony's lineup. But here's what's funny: nobody's mentioning, except for us, that Sony's lineup every single day. One dev is like, "I can't make it. My cab couldn't get there in time." Everybody's kind of not making right. Nobody's RSVPing with Sony, so it's like every day we're losing. Listen, Red Dead 2. Don't make little of it, all you guys that are Xbox fans that were like, do you see the stellar lineup of games on that stage? Okay, Red Dead 2 is a big deal. Guess what else is a big deal? Death Stranding's a big deal because now this massive lineup is Days Gone, a CGI of The Last of Us, God of War, and listen, Spider-Man. And then after that, it's just Days Gone and Detroit. And listen, you could say all those games, but those games are not coming out in 2017. Maybe one is.
Maybe Days Gone, yeah. And
one.
So what do you think?
I don't even think Spider-Man.
I think they want to get Spider-Man out alongside the movie. So I'm guessing Spider-Man, Days Gone, and GT Sport on PS3. So I think that's all that Sony has to offer this holiday, and it's like Sony has all the games, Xbox has no games. Like, look, Xbox has Forza 7, they have
unannounced
3, and maybe one more. I mean,
they got State of Decay 2.
Yeah, State of Decay 2. So
and they're gonna have a little stuff like
Hellblade releasing.
Hellblade's gonna be this year.
But what do you think?
Sony, it's releasing in August.
It's a $30. It's a $30 budget game.
It's pretty even for E3, but Sony's going to win E3 no matter what, according to.
Hey guys, here's going to win it for Microsoft. Fable Fortune coming out July 11th on Xbox preview.
I just want to throw this out here. When I was scrolling through Twitter, like kind of early-ish, whatever when that went through, and I see the Fable name coming from an official Xbox account, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And then I was like, Fable Fortune. I was like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
It's that awesome card game, guys. Come on.
Oh gosh,
everybody's so tired of the card game shit.
Yeah. Hey, at least it's a Fable
I just want to
game.
quickly point something out. The whole Spider-Man thing. Someone also, I was going to try to say it earlier, but someone also pointed out it's releasing July 7th, so they're not going to be able to release that game with the movie unless they're going to do like a really early
the movie. Oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
So
The
that game
has nothing to do with the movie, though.
Yeah,
That game's not coming out this year.
Well, no, I understand. I was just referring.
My comment was completely in just. But I'm saying like that's not coming out this year. You're going to have GT Sport and maybe Days Gone.
Spider-Man's not coming out, bro.
No,
Nah,
I don't.
think it's
Spider-Man's coming out.
Yeah, that's coming out, bro. That's coming out.
If it's coming out, get ready for one boring Spider-Man game. Pretty,
Come on, let's get out of here,
Come
bro.
on, hey, I'll see you on the 75th skyscraper. Meet me there, 8 o'clock.
We gotta be real here, bro. Why would you think Spider-Man's gonna be?
Because there hasn't been a good Spider-Man game ever.
What about it? Like,
No, wait.
it
Spider-Man-
doesn't mean there will not be, right?
Well, I mean, can I just use all of the examples I have for the
Hold
past
on,
30
hold
years?
on a minute. Wait a
Spider-Man
minute.
Dimensions
This
was-
goes back to the whole Friday the 13th.
This is
thing, Mooch.
Insomniac too making this.
No,
game.
it's not. No,
Exactly.
listen. You guys have to understand something. Everyone likes to say because we play a game.
Okay, hold
listen,
on.
I don't like to make.
That's
cakes,
like before
but
guns were invented. They're like, no one will ever be shot in the face.
What
No,
I
wait.
said about Friday the 13th still all stands.
But
We're
you're
just
playing it nonstop.
What are you
What are we
talking
streaming
about?
on
I
Friday?
played it in a week.
What are we streaming on Friday?
What have you been streaming every week?
I've been
since the release?
streaming Friday the 13th. Who wants to watch me play Prey?
Well,
Nobody.
Man,
Hey
hold
guys,
on.
listen. I'll poll everybody in the audience right now. You want to watch me play Friday the 13th?
Popular. So why are you
But
putting
popular
out
doesn't mean good.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Okay, where's your Justin Bieber shirt?
Oh,
Come on. Listen, I got
Justin
news for you.
Bieber? Like, really?
Bieber.
I don't care what.
But hear me out.
Beaver.
When I'm saying, listen, everything what I'm saying with games holds water. The fact that I'm just going to jump in and play a game doesn't mean all of a sudden technically flawed game works. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but just because you see a Spider-Man trailer and say it's not coming out this year doesn't mean it's going to be a bad game either, Mooch. Like,
Mooch.
come on.
I'm
Mooch,
saying this.
wait,
I'm saying
Mooch.
this. There hasn't been a good Spider-Man game yet, and I'm not counting on this one to change
Wait.
my mind.
Mooch, will this Spider-Man game be as good as Sunset Overdrive? By the same developer.
Yeah,
Give
no,
me
I know
that.
it is.
Give me that. Will it be better? Not as good, or
Well, wait a minute. That's it's not a yes or no answer,
Yes,
because
it is.
well, you want to make it that, then yeah, I'll just
on
say
the ropes, Rock.
here's right. Throw the damn towel.
No, I'm asking you to give me your prediction. You think it'll be as good, better, or about same as Sunset Overdrive for
Look,
fun?
we know it's going to take place in a New York City style atmosphere. Okay, we do
Yeah.
realize that we're not going to be able to walk into every building, right? We're not there.
Right.
That's not the way they're developing this. It came out too quick since the announcement. We know that's not that developed. Okay, so this is going to be you slinging from building to building, fighting on the ground street, riding a taxi, knocking somebody over, going up on a rooftop. Maybe climbing through a window, finding something, a mission, going back. It's the same. It's Spider-Man, right? You can't change. You can't be like, no, Moochie's going to go underwater and fight. No, he's Spider-Man.
And we got
They can improve on mechanics. They've obviously improved on animation. They can improve on narrative.
Yeah, but narrative and animation so far, no fun, no fun. What am I enjoying about that?
You're not doing nothing because you ain't played it.
I'm just saying, so far, guys, you can't say, hey, this has been a great Spider-Man game. They're going to build off of this. You guys are just.
I think if we can look at a trailer like Halo 5 or 4 or Forza 7 this year and say it looks like it's going to be great, I think we can do the same thing.
That's also because Forza 6 and 5 and 4 were fantastic.
Either way,
Well,
though,
wait a
like
minute.
Metal Gear Solid 5, never liked any of the other ones, but I saw Metal Gear
Doesn't
Solid.
that also go to Assassin's Creed? Like, we've had a lot of Assassin's Creeds that, we've all said, oh, looks great, but came out shit.
Yeah, and
So-
everybody's skeptical right now.
Yeah, but
With
it's
due
still,
reason.
like, and
But
for
the-
you to say that Spider-Man hasn't been in a long development, you don't know exactly when they started their development. Just
Yeah.
because they released their trailer doesn't
Okay,
mean
now
that's-
wait.
Whoa.
Every time I say a sentence, you guys are like, okay, well, he made a good point. Attack the news sentence. Attack the news
You're
sentence.
hating
Listen,
something
what I'm
before
saying
it
is
even
this, okay?
releases.
What I'm saying is that you guys are great. You guys should work for the gaming media.
I just
Listen,
ordered my Justin Bieber shirt.
listen, I got news for you. Listen, Spider-Man may be fun. Okay, fun is such a hard word to take away from gamers these days, right?
we get an inch out of them every time. All right, I
know
guess
what?
it could be fun.
Yeah, developers are no longer be called developers; they're fun makers. But it is what it is. But I can't tell you what you guys are gonna have fun with. Some of you guys still have fun when you're eating cotton candy and twirl it on one finger. That's okay. But what I'm saying is I don't like cotton candy. My thing is I think this is gonna be another game. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug. You're all falling for it because I grew up reading Spider-Man, so the game has to be great. It doesn't. And for all
go
you're
watch
saying,
the Transformers movie. Yeah,
exactly, exactly.
By the way,
GKB makes a good point.
The
GKB
Amazing
made a point.
Spider-Man 1 was actually a damn good game. in my opinion.
Yeah,
It
and
was,
I'm gonna throw it out here as well, right?
agree,
It's not like say like Assassin's Creed where people are questioning it because Assassin's Creed still has the same developers, right?
Right.
Literally, these Spider-Man games have been made prior to now. Were always made by these little, basically kind of crap teams for the most part. They're always made to coincide. They're always made to coincide
like
with
fantastic
something.
games, bro. Like they've put out like Ratchet and Clank and Sunset Overdrive and like Sunset Overdrive.
Blowjob Simulator 2014.
With fucking Spider-Man. Like
Yeah, but guys, listen,
this is like a match made in heaven.
every time you make a new IP, though, I have to say this though, GKB, you're back on the chopping block. Okay, McDonald's is famous for what? The best fish fillet, the Big Mac. But they made the Big Arc Deluxe, which was a bomb.
Oh my god!
You know what I mean?
Like new IPs are unproven and all that kind of stuff.
Hold on, we got a problem. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
I was
Cletus.
gonna say I don't know what you guys are all arguing about because I think this game probably gonna be a piece of shit. I mean, after all, it's a guy that's flying through the fucking air in a pair of ribs, man. If I had tights and I could fucking fly, I'd be peeping in everybody's goddamn windows. I'd be stealing shit, motherfucker. I'm telling you, I don't know, man. It is Spider-Man. I love him, maybe. I don't know. I hope he bangs that redhead. Maybe get some eventually. Maybe he'll stop acting like a puss. But that's where I'm gonna leave it, boys. Let's get going.
I just want to point something out. When it comes to Spider-Man, now Colt made a really good point about bringing up Sunset Overdrive. They have the mechanics already to have that style of game for Spider-Man. Because when you played Sunset Overdrive, you were jumping around like Spider-Man kind of actually does, but you're going to have a web and stuff. So they have the base to make an amazing game because we already know that Sunset Overdrive was a game that was very announced.
Underrated?
Yes, underrated. Thank
Very,
you.
very
And so for the developers of Sunset Overdrive to create a Spider-Man, they have the base. They have the base texture, and they already have the concept. And we know it's an open world action.
So two things then. So using your premise there, if they take the same outline and it becomes very popular because it's Spider-Man, then would you not say that because the other one failed because of nostalgia, that's the only reason this one passed?
No, that's why
they're not using anything from Sunset Overdrive.
I don't think so either.
I'm not saying they're using that, but I'm just saying the developers themselves know how to create a game like it, is what I'm getting.
They're
at.
a talented
they're
group of
taking
people.
exactly
Those very
Sunset
talented
Overdrive.
group of people.
Those other three Spider-Man games controlled really well. I played both of them. Like when you could sling and swing in exactly where you wanted to around the city.
You grappled to the clouds, Colt.
A lot of people a lot of people have different like talents, right? Okay, like I'll give you guys a quick example. I love analogies. You guys know that, the audience knows that. But when Crap says, hey, we're doing a top 10 for MNC Mornings and he limits it to one subject, well, I can't use all the analogies that I come up with. Case in point here is when you have a development team like Insomniac that's very talented, but you're like, no, you got to fit it into a world where you're Spider-Man and you fling yourself from skyscraper to skyscraper. All of a sudden, you're limiting their technical and their development, like their creative genius, because they're stuck doing a Spider-Man game. And you guys can say whatever you want with Sunset Overdrive. Sunset Overdrive's entire build doesn't work for Spider-Man because if Spider-Man can only like web sling up to the top of a telephone pole, this game sucks. Okay?
Yeah,
I mean, you have to go.
Serious great point because that's what made Sunset Overdrive so fun. Is you're working way towards your next power and your next weapon. And that's what kept it interesting to keep playing along. But he's right. If Spider-Man's like, I can shoot this demon stuff out of my wrist, and that's about all I got.
That's it. And then unfortunately, that's what Spider-Man is. So
let me just say one. Okay, it looks like they got the graphics down. If they turn out as good as some of the video we've seen, graphics check. Two, the actual developer has a pristine reputation for making well-polished and fantastic games. Third, they're not tied into a movie. There's no absolute rush on the game. Will it come out this year? I hope so. I'd like to think so, but I mean, it may slip the next year. But either which way, I think they will bring it out only when the time is right. Again, no pressure. And again, if it plays like Sunset Overdrive, guys, I think it's a win-win. Like all you got to do is get the flying down, make the combat, and don't put in repetitious fetch quest missions. You might actually have a sensible game.
Of all of Crap's topics, I didn't think this one was going to take up the most airtime, but
You're also not going to be playing just as Spider-Man either. They have stated that you will be playing as Peter Parker and Spider-Man. So It'll be interesting to actually see what they do with the dynamic and pulling both characters into. Like, I know it's obviously the same character, but you're going to be Peter Parker and Spider-Man. So it'll be interesting to see how they actually pull the story together.
Right, and don't get me wrong, I think the game will be polished. Okay, I think the game is going to be beautiful. And I'll be honest with you, because the audience is there's a couple Sony fans in the chat. Listen, guys, you got to understand something. This isn't boo-hoo, like this sucks because it's Sony. That's not what I'm saying. I'm actually looking forward to games that a lot of people on the panel may not be looking forward to that Sony's coming out. I'm actually going to be one of the first ones to buy Days Gone, okay, because I like that style game, okay? I anything with a zombie apocalypse, I'm pretty much first or second in line, right? So I'm with you guys. Like, this is just something with me, and you got to understand, also the movies and comic, I like Spider-Man. I think that's great. Unfortunately, and let Insomniac prove me wrong, but until then, there has not been a fun I have the Spider-Man game for the original OG Xbox. My God, that's something you should give somebody who committed something like a major crime. Play this in your jail cell.
Have you played the Amazing Spider-Man 1?
I have not, but if you recommend it, I'll give it a shot.
That one was actually really good. Amazing Spider-Man 2, though, much like the movie, sucked. So
dealer's right. You should go give that a shot. Maybe it'll be backward compatible for free on Xbox.
I doubt it. It's Activision. It'll be a remaster.
True.
Oh,
it'll be a remaster.
No, they straight up poured it.
Yeah, that'll just be a straight port.
900p.
I swear to God, the first one looked better than the second one on next-gen consoles.
Yeah.
I'm not doubting it. Okay, so you guys know, there's that rumor that Capcom Vancouver is doing an exclusive game for Xbox called Night of Aegis. I asked somebody who messaged me, "Is this the game you're talking about?" And I got a winky face. So yeah.
Sometimes I lose excitement when I hear about these names of games. That name does not excite
hold on.
me.
Let me I'll tell you. And you know what's funny? There's a screenshot of this. Apparently this game leaked before and nobody knew what it was for. 1974, New York City. You're recruited into the Order of Aegis, an elite brotherhood of mystic knights sworn to protect and keep the peace between the mortal and supernatural realms. When a powerful evil stirs in the darkness, you must muster the ancient powers of the past in order to save humanity's future.
Wow, sounds like the TV show Shadowhunters.
I've never heard of that TV show, but it must be badass, huh?
Haggis. The Knights of Haggis.
I think Jamie Moran, if you're listening, man, you got that screenshot, like tweet it with Mooch and everybody in it so they can see it. He tweeted it out earlier.
I did. I saw it.
Did you? Okay. Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. A screenshot's hard to go by. I mean, it's a nice, it's the same thing with State of Decay. I mean, not to change subjects, but same concept with the concept art that keeps coming out by the State of Decay people. I just want to tell them, hey, from an Xbox fan that's looking forward to your product, you're concerning me. Stop sending out pictures of like something Bob Ross painted, okay? I want to see the game. Give me a still of the game. I want to make sure
it's a tease, right? Because they've already shown us some snips of the game, and it looks phenomenal.
Have they? I have not seen the game.
The State of Decay 2 trailer last E3, they did show several snippets of gameplay.
Okay.
On the title thing, man. I can't stand it when a game has a really weird title. I know it's kind of lame, but
it sounds lame, but it's
like Bloodborne karting.
You know? I mean, I want a game that sounds like it kicks ass, not a game that sounds like ass. You know what I mean? And I think that's why there's a lot of games on PlayStation. I go into the store and I'm looking at them. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I can't even read it. It's like, it's like, what the hell game is that?
Danganronpa 3 or whatever, right?
Hey,
like
crap. Wasn't this a deal that Capcom is behind this, right? Who's behind?
Yeah, Capcom Vancouver. Who was
wasn't this a deal that's like remnant of the 2014 deal or whatever, the 2013 deal they made or something?
Yeah, because they have a 3-game contract with Capcom in 2011, 2012. Dead Rising 4, then they were going to do something about Monster Hunter could be coming to Xbox, but
that'll never happen.
But not be exclusive. But supposedly that game might still come to Xbox. So I don't know. Like, to me, this seems interesting. Capcom Vancouver is a good studio. Again, a new IP. It's a different story-driven type of game, single player, obviously. That's what a lot of people are asking for.
Yeah, it sounds interesting to me.
Yeah, you're like a a defender of kind of realms. Like you kind of keep the bad shit in the bad realm, and I don't know. That's just what I got from reading it, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how they like oversaturate us when we ask for something in the other direction? Like we were doing multiplayer for a while, and then like the big thing was single player, whether it be RPG or something like that. And now they're like, hurry up, get the single players out there, get the single player. Now it's like everything's single player. And then it's like, oh, okay, then what happened? Where's my multiplayers? I'm in the mood for a shooter. All right, somebody open the door. Get 20 shooters in here, quick. It's like they do the same thing. It's like
people get tired of the same shit. It's just like World War II. We thought it'd be dead for longer than 10 years, but people got tired of modern day. It's always
that's true.
Well, they got tired of future day.
Yeah.
Like that. Come on.
I've stormed this beach 30 fucking times.
You got to storm it again and again and again and again. Oh, isn't it like the anniversary of that? If so, God bless you, man, for doing that. Like, we have nothing but respect for you. 100%. Love the military and what you guys did. World War II, greatest nation or greatest
generation.
What is it? Greatest generation. Yes. Good job, guys. We appreciate it. Yeah. I don't know. I like the idea. It sounds like something new, something interesting. I guess you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you're Microsoft,
listen, crap new is good, but what you just said is actually very true. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Yeah. Well, exactly. I mean, this is something that's interesting. I weren't people complaining about lack of single player games.
Mm-hmm.
I want some more single player games. I think that's what Xbox needs is third person action adventure games. Or
true.
You know what I'm saying? That's we got the racers on lock. We got the third person shooters on lock. The first person shooters on lock. Hopefully next time without lock. And
don't tell me that.
We don't have the third person action adventure right now in the vein of a more mature story. So that's what we need.
Yep, and I was told adventure game would be announced, and that looks like an adventure game. Jamie Moran, shout out to you for tweeting us that screenshot. It looks a little bit like Infamous with demons or something. I don't know. Looks kind of cool.
We'll see.
It could be very good.
I think they also said in that post that that's the game they don't know if it'll be on stage this year, correct?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Something big is taking the place of Halo 6.
Yeah.
So I think it just depends on
a Halo card game.
Halo
cart. Like
Yep.
Bloodborne cart. She-Wolf, what is Bloodborne cart? Like, yeah, I saw that.
Oh my god. Okay, so this guy that he sends me all this crazy stuff. I don't know if he wants me to say his name or not, so I'll kind of keep it to myself.
On the down low.
But,
yeah.
I have this guy who sends me like nonstop information, and he sent me this image of Bloodborne cart. Now, it's so weird because like it looks like it's actually on a screen. Like this image actually looks like it's on the PlayStation 4, and it's I don't know. It's from who's it from? I think it's like
software. It's their new Dark Souls-esque karting game.
Yeah, I mean that makes
like what? Why? I think Noof kind of hit it on like the best note. Like, what do? Do you like drive and then just die at the end? Like I.
We realize it's probably fake in a week. That's probably.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is, but it's just funny because there's so many like card games that people keep wanting.
Yeah.
So like whether
that
it's
would be
fake
a
or
card
real,
game that would be made for a mature audience, which is not a great target audience for a lot of the people that really
that's exactly
card games.
No, I think you were on the right track there, Noof. Just when you went through the card, I would actually say that game just wouldn't gravitate towards a Souls fan. And I mean, Luca's in the chat. There's other people that play. I play Dark Souls 3, but I play it like really, really like sparsely. There's people who are just huge Souls fans, and there's no way you're going to get somebody who loved Bloodborne for being this alternate world from Souls to go and like have a turtle shell hanging off the back of a cart. And that's just not going to work. So this has got fake written all over it.
Standard racer, like I know it's fake. It's just hilarious.
It was funny. I was like, what the hell
that
is that?
people come up with? Like, don't get me wrong, people. I know it's fake. It's just funny to see what people come up with. Like,
it should be real.
It's a realistic karting game where you actually have the fucking tires on your car and find the parts and put gas in it and everything, just like real world. A pain in the fucking ass.
They put Sony Japan on it. What they did.
Yeah. Hey, the other thing that was kind of brought up was something we actually talked about before and theorized about, which is about Fable Online. And this is what this leak supposedly says. Studio Gobo working on the Fable game. It's basically a resurrection of Fable Legends. However, they will make some drastic changes. It's no longer MOBA focused. It's more of an online RPG inspired by Destiny.
Please do.
You can go on a mission with friends, meet in towns where you can equip and sell all your weapons. They say it looks and sounds promising, and it's really Microsoft's chance to revive the franchise. And what this guy was told is that if Fable Online does well, they don't know the name. It might not be called Fable Online by the time it launches.
Well, I'm gonna break this wide open crap. I'm gonna break this wide open right now. Whenever companies like this one are saying that this is gonna be like a Destiny, let's just talk some raw numbers here. Crap. How many employees does Bungie have, and all the sub companies they've not acquired but subbed out to over the past, let's say, 5 years for Destiny? I mean, we're talking hundreds, right? 300 maybe plus employees.
Yeah.
Studio Gobo, okay, is 6 people that decided not to use chairs in their office, and they're sitting on those big pogo balls. All right, there's no way in God's green earth they are putting the fact that they even use the word Destiny in a sentence with that game is just ridiculous. Why don't they just make what they want to make and stop? And the same thing goes for Sea of Thieves. Rare is loading up with people, but Rare doesn't have nearly the staff that Bungie has. And it's like, why is it like everyone's like, oh, I just can't wait for Sea of Thieves. It's gonna be just like Destiny, but with a pirate patch. And I'm like, wait, I don't really think so. But okay. Yeah. And now they're saying it with this game, right? They just pulled it off the shelf like a year and change ago.
Like that's the way that somebody described Sea of Thieves, and you're thinking, are you a crackhead? Like this is just the way somebody described the
right.
I've heard people describe really some things in really stupid ways.
You could like. Dealer nailed it because pretty much when someone says Destiny, the first thing usually it's compared to is like the first MMO, like World of Warcraft, because that's an MMO.
Well, let me say this: Studio Gobo did expand. They just tweeted out that they expanded their office and hired a bunch of new people.
From 6 to 10.
Aside from that,
what? We doubled our team size.
From 6 to 10, they got a new water cooler on the other end of the room. Cool.
You'll never get thirsty.
Well, hold on. well, listen. They're resurrecting the code and stuff that was already there. So
that's not what I want, bro. I want a traditional.
Yeah, I'm with GKB. That's
but
not.
Listen,
what
it
we
says
wanted.
like this is what it is. Yeah. Know, but listen, this is what it says. If it does well, then they'll greenlight a full-fledged mainline Fable 4.
Great,
game.
We'll see you in 2023.
So 2 failures, and then we're gonna greenlight. Like
what do you mean if it does well? It's fucking Fable.
I guess what we'll say here is if it depends on that and off of old unused code or whatever for Fable Legends, you might as well say see you in Hades, Fable.
Yeah.
Why didn't they compare this to like something like Elder Scrolls Online instead?
Right.
Wouldn't it have made more sense to compare it to a game like that if they're going in that approach? Because that's what exactly
if you read these
like.
leaks, She-Wolf, this guy that had basically leaked all this, he compares like 3 of these games to fucking Destiny. So
okay, so
I think he likes Destiny a lot.
One of the #1 selling game. Okay,
but this guy apparently the one that leaked is pretty well known for leaking good stuff. Like
I mean, at the end of the day, crap. Like I'm looking forward to this Fable thing. Like regardless, it might not be even what he's saying. It could be just a traditional Fable game, and I hope that's what it is.
Me too.
And I have to see like what's going to go on with this Fable Online, if it actually is that, and then go from there, man. Because I can't really just go on this speculation alone.
Yeah, and he says the same code, right? Like Crap just said that.
Yeah, he says
Call of Duty,
resurrected it.
Call of Duty Infinite Warfare probably shares the same code as World War II, right? And it definitely don't look the same, and it doesn't stop them from making improvements and enhancements. So just because it's running on Unreal Engine, what was it, Unreal Engine 4?
4, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hell, they could be doing anything with that code, so we'll see.
Yeah, well, that game was Fable Legends was beautiful. Like that was like a gorgeous game. I like that game a lot. I thought it was really cool. I was sad obviously when the Fable franchise died. Thankfully, Microsoft didn't sell off the IP. What the hell was that? I'm looking at you, Noof.
Noof just had an idea.
That reminds me. I had this idea that Phil Spencer should walk up to the stage at E3 and go, "Scorpio, $3.99," and then put the mic down to his ass and go, and then and it would be news Scorpio for years. Phil Spencer dropped the bomb of Scorpio for $400, ripped ass into the mic, and walked off. It's unprecedented.
That's the end of the E3 conference. Cheapest E3 ever.
Well, Sony's E3 is after that, so Yoshida would have to do some crazy shit to that microphone when they announced PS4 Pro at $350.
If Yoshida even has a suit that fits, I'll be surprised.
Well, they only make them wear it once a year. So.
Yeah,
I'm glad Microsoft.
This fucking thing has gotten smaller since last year.
I'm glad that Microsoft decided to go a day before, the day before, and eat up the day and soak up the press for 24 hours. But I'm just one day. I'm dying to see 1 day, 1 year. I'm waiting to see when Microsoft would actually get the chance to go after Sony, because Sony's entire show is just a reaction to Microsoft. That's all it's been since 2013. Whatever Microsoft does, they do the opposite. And they try to do it like with a little bit more flair. You know what I mean? Like okay, so Microsoft's going to show three new IPs. New IPs you'll be playing this year, not new IPs you haven't seen. Maybe 2 new ones you haven't seen. And then they're going to have their deals that they have with Borderlands 3, et cetera. And then they have hardware. Sony only has games. Someone misunderstood me on Twitter today. They're like, well, Mooch, it's really kind of dangerous for them to actually do another hardware release. I'm like, no, you're missing my point. They don't have any hardware to release. So they did it all last year. And it was, to be honest with you, I think the Pro is kind of a flop as far as they're concerned. And
well, they didn't even announce that at their E3 last year. They did that at their own PlayStation.
They couldn't. They wanted to.
What are you talking about, Mooch? PS5 is going to be revealed and released this year.
Yeah, that's right. It's coming out in August. No,
10 teraflops.
Right. She-Wolf, listen, there's never in the history of E3s have they shown a game like Days Gone in the beginning of E3 and then be like, hey, did you guys not get enough of our couple-minute trailer of a new game you've never seen before? Of course you haven't. Here's 20 more minutes played by so-and-so in the corner. And it was like, okay. And we were like, wait, why are you eating up 20 minutes? Because when Scorpio came out and they said 6 teraflops, they were like, they can't come out like 3 hours later and be like 4.2. It'd be like just like a fizzle reel. Like, it's like...
They didn't even mention the T-flops at the actual reveal. They
never
said 4.2.
No, because they
said double the power.
Yeah, that was so. As soon as they were done with that reveal in New York, that's when the games came out from Sony. Don't you see what we got? That's when they said, "I want to see everything." And I said this it was like 2 months ago now. I said, there's something weird about Sony eating up every single marketing deal. You have to say this isn't genius. I call it a reaction. It's a problem. Sony's first-party games aren't ready. And they have nothing else to combat in the Scorpio.
It's genius. It's the only thing they could do to combat the Scorpio, and they've done it. Yep. It's exactly what you would do if you knew that every single one.
If you're starving, okay, and the only thing you can do is eat your hand, it's not genius. It's desperate.
If it keeps you alive, if eating your hand is going to keep you alive, then
yes, it's not genius. It's desperate. Okay, listen.
But you have to look at it this way. Like, for instance, when a coyote gets caught into a trap, it will chew off its own leg, then sit there and die.
Right.
It comes back to...
So when it leaves, it's going to be known as Dr. Coyote? Like, it's not genius because it did that. It knows how to...
Okay. Wait, I got to understand where you're coming from here, right? Think about it this way. Scorpio... You don't have to, because we already know Scorpio is going to crush the Pro in every way.
Right.
All the game's going to look and run better if developers even fucking try.
Right.
So... What are you going to do? Just let everyone them kind of
what they did
market those games? Are you going to take them all up and kind of prevent
absolutely? But why are we calling them genius when it's the only option on the table? You just said it.
It's not the only option.
It is
the smartest thing they could possibly.
No, it's not the smart thing. It's the only thing that you just said yourself that all the games are going to run and play better on Scorpio. So what's left? Market it or not market it and sit there and get beat on all three.
But you said it yourself earlier. They've never really done this before to this degree.
No, I said what they've never done before is played a game at the beginning and the end.
No, I'm talking about marketing.
They're still going to.
I thought you mentioned the fact that they were marketing more than they had before.
No. I was talking about Days Gone. No, when She-Wolf said they were going to say it at the last E3, but they couldn't. That was a different category.
Oh, well, either way, they are marketing more than they ever have, and it's not on accident. Like, they're doing the one thing they can to suppress.
No, nothing's on accident. Who accidentally writes a check with 7 zeros in it? No, I understand the stuff. I'm trying to say to you it's an act of desperation. They have all these games. Listen, hear me out for a second, dealer. They had an E3 last year, okay, where they showed you 7 new games you've never seen before. You've never seen them before. This year, almost, because I don't know yet, but almost none of those games are coming out this year.
Yeah.
So what are they going to do to come back?
Yeah.
I don't really think like this is a desperation move by Sony. Like, they are the market share leaders. Like I don't think that's a move. I think it is a smart move on Sony to.
I don't see where it's smart. If that's smart, I mean, it's just that's.
It's exactly what you or I would do.
Exactly.
Yes, but you're using the wrong word. I agree with you. It is what I would do. Here's my only option.
I wouldn't even put it past like Sony.
It's not smart.
Throw like an image up there of PS5.
If you had a multiple choice exam and you only had one fucking bubble to circle, is it smart?
But they have more than one bubble, though.
It's not. It's do it or don't. They don't do that.
I don't think so.
Wait, hold on. Let me
Sony
say.
doesn't have anything to fear at this point, so they don't have to do anything.
It's not a desperation.
Don't you drink the Kool-Aid tonight, brother?
Let me give
Spider-Man and everything, man.
Let me give props to Sony because they have the market share, 2-1, 3-1, depending on where you're looking at. They've got the market share. But here's the problem. This is where Sony appears desperate. Unless PlayStation 5 is around the corner, like I said in 2019, all of their install base, their hardcore gamers have to listen to Digital Foundry on every single multi-plat game. Digital Foundry is going to say, this game looks better and runs better on the Xbox Scorpio.
Well, I mean,
they're going to hear that for
and that's when those gamers tune out, Colt.
Yeah, I mean, well, that and like that, you have to go on the premise that every PlayStation owner is like watching Digital Foundry. That's just not true, man. That's just hardcore.
It's also you also got to look at it this way, right? It's not like people are just gonna go out and convert, right? This is the same logic I used.
No, they won't.
This is the same logic I used with Crapgamer earlier today, right? It's like before he got all to YouTube and stuff, and we were just playing strictly 360 and played like actual like game matches, like near professional level, that sort of stuff, like.
And here's the other thing to like Mooch.
If all of a sudden Sony on the PS3 would have came out with all these great games and this super more powerful system in the middle of that generation, were you see this gonna up and jump to that system while everybody we knew was playing still on Xbox?
Like to Sony's point too, like they're not even going to be afraid. Like they literally can go out on this E3 because they like showing stuff early and just throw up an image of like PS5 and people would like fucking lose their minds over this, even though it's not coming out anytime soon. They still can do that. Like
they could, but you know what? That would hurt them more than that would hurt themselves more than Microsoft.
Maybe.
Like I think it does because it kills off PS4 sales, but it doesn't kill off Xbox Scorpio sales because Scorpio is already doing 4K.
Yeah.
So anything that Sony would come out with would be a 4K machine.
Yeah, I mean,
Microsoft already has.
Scorpio's going to drop, and it's not going to sell like 30 million day one. That's just not going to happen.
No, of course not.
Here's the
if
other
it's
side.
$399, it's going to sell really well, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Here's one thing that I can possibly see happening. There's still a lot of hate for the Xbox brand in the media, period. And I can see them trying as hard as they fucking can to compare the Scorpio now moving forward. They won't even be focused on comparing it with the PS4 Pro anymore. They're going to start putting the Scorpio against like the top end friggin' PCs on the market that are running hardware that's like way even beyond what Microsoft's got in this box. Do you know what I mean? Like I can see that narrative just constantly switching because they will not concede that Microsoft finally has a machine that is fucking embarrassing the PlayStation. I mean,
they do that already with the Pro and stuff like now. They put it up against like PC and stuff.
Right.
As well. Like,
so that's what I see.
They were doing the PC version shit. I mean, listen, Mooch, I completely get where you're coming from, but I don't think it's desperation when you're 3 or 4 to 1 and you're up ahead and 2 in you're 50-50. Hang on. I'll let you get back to your point.
You're not looking at but you're just going back to the console soul. That means nothing.
I completely understand where you're coming from, but they have more than one option. And when you know that something's coming, hang on. When you know that something's coming that's going to destroy your games, anybody that knows what they're doing with marketing, and Sony do, they're going to make marketing deals with all the biggest games so your competitor cannot show them off. They're suppressing. The other option is not do shit and still probably win.
That's what I just said. I said this. So do something or not do something. All they did was the only option they had, and you guys are like, "It's genius, genius, genius."
But they don't have to. They don't have to do it though.
But yes, they do. Listen, Scorpio is Scorpio is the most powerful console coming out this fall. Okay, Microsoft is putting out 3 games from first-party studios again this holiday, which Sony has yet to do consistently in holiday sales. Okay, so they're gonna not have the most powerful console. They're not gonna have any. They're not gonna have 3 or 4 IPs to come out from their first party this holiday.
They've never
as far as we know,
it
right? So the only thing left to do is market the games because you don't have the. It's 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Microsoft wins that debate.
But
so
besides
it's not genius.
But they actually. But the thing is, when it comes to Sony, they actually cover their bases pretty well because, like, I pointed this out. Hold on, Mooch. I pointed this out previously about the fact that Sony likes
it's not credit, man. It's just
smart, man.
I didn't say it wasn't. Oh.
All right, Mooch, like, look at here, okay? Like Xbox has already had like a bunch of first-party stuff comes out. The only difference with this year and last year is it's just Scorpio, and it still didn't really do anything against it. That's where dealers coming from. They don't really have to do anything. They're the market leader. Like people are just gonna buy it regardless, man.
They market the games that are actually going against the PlayStation or against the Xbox games, anyways. When you get marketing deals with the multiplayer games and the multi-plat games, you're still going against your competitor regardless of the fact. And most of their games come out in the spring. Like they're AAA titles, so they cover their bases for having the spring release where there are pretty much no other games coming out. Where they know during the fall, no matter what, these multi-plat games are coming out, no matter what.
And they're going to look better this time on the Scorpio.
Exactly. But how many people are going to know that because Microsoft can't show it off?
If they don't get those markets.
Why is it? What do you guys mean?
That's literally what I've been saying for like the last couple weeks.
I know you have been saying it, but I don't agree with you guys because I don't think it's that big of a deal. The fact that they have an extra blue poster in GameStop. I don't think that's a big deal.
Those marketing deals for E3, guys. If Sony doesn't grab those marketing deals, they'll just repeat last year's E3. They'll just show the same 5 games. They can't do that. They can't.
I'm just saying, if you want Scorpio to succeed and you want that message to get out there the most, they need to be able to tell people the best games this year run better on their platform, and they can't do it.
Can we go back in time when Microsoft had some of the marketing rights to certain games, and you guys are like, doesn't matter. It's just going to look better on the other ones. So why would I give Microsoft my $60 when I can get it on the PS4 and look better? So now, those were your guys' arguments back then. Now I'm saying to you, huh?
Sony was the leading platform when that happened, though, and it's still
leading platform or not. Listen, cycles change. You ever see a sine curve? I mean, for God's sakes, things go up and down. Sony was awful back when PS3 will be $600. Tomatoes were thrown. All of a sudden, now they can't do wrong.
But a lot of the hardcore.
No one's saying they can't do wrong. We're just giving them props for the strategy this year.
Can I also point out that a lot of hardcore gamers are also mostly ones that we know. They're YouTube creators who want the early access to the games, which are of course given to whoever has marketing rights for the exclusives. They're not going to go buy a Scorpio when they're not going to get the early DLC or anything else like that, because that doesn't benefit them in the long run. And we all know that Phil Spencer has come out and said this is targeted towards the hardcore gamers. So,
but they're obviously marketing everybody since they're since they're going to do a worldwide launch this time,
I know now they're kind of changing their narrative a little bit by saying no, we want it to go to everybody.
I don't know how they're marketing to everyone when I was earlier looking for 2 different GameStops looking for a headset.
It's just crazy to me. Awesome. It's absolutely crazy to me how you guys are just playing along with the narrative change. Like every time Jamie Moran every day, sends a picture out of the goalpost moving, and you guys are helping lift it. I just don't understand. Because last year when it was the power, now we got the power. Next year, Phil will get all the third-party deals.
Because last time I checked, Crap agreed that Microsoft need to get the message out there about Scorpio finally having the better versions of games. Do you still stand by that, Crap?
Yeah, you need to. You definitely need to advertise. You got to be able to show your games off. First of all,
it is key now more than ever for them to say, "Hey, we finally have the best versions of games."
Yeah. They could say that, but who knows if they're
talking about 90 minutes. You guys are talking about 90 minutes on stage. That's the only time people are going to see it.
But
that's about commercials online.
Commercials don't show 4K 60, dealer.
They can't say anything about it, though.
Yeah, it's not a matter of showing off what the game is doing.
How many casuals? Listen, you guys are talking about the casuals. How many casuals are sitting there at 14 years old being like, hey, Dad, pass me the popcorn. Look at that shit's at 4K 60 frames, Dad. Let's slow that ad down. I bet you there's a little secret fucking memo in it. No, they're not doing what we're doing.
Crap, why he bought PSVR.
Oh, man.
Because of an advertisement. I saw a part of an advertisement. Hey, and with that, though, man, we're already past 10 o'clock, man. I don't want, it gets a little bit heated, but it's all good. I think
listen, yeah, I don't care. You guys believe whatever you want. My whole thing is this. I just think it's funny how no matter what happens, I'm just going to predict this. Next year, Phil Spencer will get every marketing right. He'll have the most powerful goddamn console. Sony will decide to throw in an extra controller, and you'll be like, come on, Mooch, there's more than one person in the house. Sony's genius. It's always something.
We've never given Sony props about anything.
Nobody's putting down Microsoft and the power that they're creating, Mooch. None of us are saying that Sony is that we're defending Sony. We're just saying they made a smart move. There's nothing wrong with just giving someone credit for where
Can I just put it? That's fine. I'm going to let you guys say that, but I just want to put an asterisk. And the asterisk is when you look at the bottom of the page, it all says their only move. That's that's all I'm saying. Like, you guys are saying it's a smart move, and I'm saying it's the only move.
But
either way, it's still they did it, right?
It doesn't matter if it's the only move, if what they've already done, if it was a chess game, it's already.
So Microsoft spends millions of dollars.
I was just thinking that Hellhammer. I'm like, so someone who calls checkmate, that means that was a dumb move, or that was like their only move because it.
I mean, look, Sony blocked them from moving. Microsoft can't go out, but they can't put an ad up anywhere because it doesn't matter if they're casuals or whatever the case may be. You could lump people into that, but. Guess what? At the end of the day, what sold so many PS4s was, aside from the fact that Microsoft's awful thing, was the marketing. Was them saying we play your games better. You know, that extra 180p is gonna really make the difference on your game. That extra whatever is gonna really make the difference on your game. Now Microsoft can't even say this is the best place to play. You know,
and that's backed up by third-party surveys, right?
Oh my gosh, I just woke up. Are we still talking about the marketing deals?
I mean, because
and on that note,
I'm just going to leave it at this.
We're giving them pointless credit, and all we're saying is, hey, they did what they did, and it's the only thing they could do to properly combat Scorpio. Props. That's all we're saying. We're not saying
no. Props is not genius. Props is way to go, bro. And
we're saying that they did what they had to do, and we'll see how it turns out. That's all we're saying. We're not gonna defend Microsoft for not doing what they had to do.
You just changed. Yeah, dealer. You just changed your words a lot in the last sentence. By the way,
they're only
doing that. Props.
You're like I'm gonna give them props. You're like, I'm giving them props, and it was a good move. It was their only move. You said that. If you replay it later, you'll see. You said what I said, but then you just changed to like
no,
genius.
I didn't say
genius.
I said they have two moves. They didn't have to do anything, and they would have been just fine.
Yeah, but why would they do nothing? I mean,
you just said that I said it was their only move, and I never said that.
I said it was their only move. I said if they had a multiple choice.
Guys, we'll see. Guess what? We'll see how this all plays out on Sunday. I mean, I think that'll be the ultimate test, and then we'll come back.
I'm just saying, it don't hurt to give somebody credit for marketing properly.
I guess so. All they did was write a check, but yes.
But hey, at least they wrote it, unlike Microsoft.
They were too busy building a console.
So Sony built a console
that doesn't work or do anything.
And we've turned. Hey guys. Okay, let's go ahead with that. I'm gonna do some outros because I know like people got kids and like gotta go. GKB, man, what do you got going on this week?
Oh man, a bunch of stuff. We're doing a bunch of drive to work discussions, talking about E3. This podcast has been awesome, man. I've just been enjoying the shit.
Podcast today.
Yeah, man, it was fantastic. I was waiting for that dude to come out and be like pushing people off the stage.
No, Steve.
Yeah, Steve.
Yeah, Steve.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, She-Wolf, what do you got going on?
Instead of Jerry, it should be Crapper. Instead of Jerry.
Wow,
Yeah, of course. I'll be streaming all week long on the Gamers Knows Best YouTube channel, and of course my Mixer will also be streaming at nighttime as well. We got like 2 different streams in the afternoon and at night, so make sure you guys check that out. Other than that, you can find me on YouTube, Twitter, and Xbox at XShewolfX with a U, not an O.
All right, good stuff. And Hellhammer, what do you got going on? Nothing?
Not too much, but I'll probably be on here at some point during the day for at least Microsoft's E3 for reactions or something similar to that.
Absolutely.
If the internet isn't completely used up from you uploading, I'll probably try to get a video up at some point.
Nice. We'll all count on that, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll be back on here on Xbox Nation next week. That can be found on Twitter at XXHellhammer or Xbox Live XX_Hellhammer, or on PSN now, XX_Hellhammer.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, we got the PSN thrown in there. Good stuff. Dealer, what do you got going on, bro? Now that you moved and got your own better internet and stuff.
No, I can hear it now. Now me and Mooch hate each other.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yay! It's not me anymore.
No, I mean, this ain't the first time me and Mooch have disagreed, and that's fine. It happens, right? I mean, I completely understand where the guy's coming from, but at the same time, hey, I rarely give Sony props, but I think they did the smartest thing they could possibly do, in my opinion. It doesn't mean their console is going to stagger the Scorpio, not even close, but hey, I wish Microsoft would market a little more aggressively. I've been pretty vocal about that,
That
but
would be nice.
I digress. Yeah, it was a great podcast. Good to see Mooch on here, Colt, and of course She-Wolf and GKB, as well as Noof. And yeah, I got a little heated, but it was. Hey, sometimes I think it's more fun this way anyway.
That's
Yeah.
good.
So
Heat. That's right.
maybe we'll get Mooch back in here again some more.
Well, listen, I was just gonna say, I don't know if Crap, you're coming to me next or not.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Mooch.
Well,
what do you
if
got?
you don't mind, well, here's what I'm going to do
bro?
because here we got this is a great lineup tonight. All right, this is like everyone doesn't understand in the chat. Hey, welcome to a podcast. You know what this is called, guys? It's called debate. You know, there's a lot of podcasts out there. Everyone's like, "What do you think, C2?" I think C3 was correct too.
It was
all right,
interesting.
how about C4? Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Well, guess what? On this one, it's actually people having a discussion. Okay, and actually, you know what? When you
Or a
hear,
nice yelling, you know.
or yes, exactly, right. But when you hear that, that's actually called passion. It means somebody actually gives a shit what they're talking about. And we all kind of spend a lot of time in this circle. So, what I was going to say was, we've got Colt, we've got Crap, we've got GKB, definitely coming on Crossfire this week, and I believe I'm going to see if we can get Dealer in there. Why not have round 2? No, we're going to talk about a lot of different stuff, but it would be good to have Dealer on as well. If you can make it, bro, let me know. You don't have to answer now on the air. But my point is that we got that going on. We've got E3 coverage starting Sunday, MNC mornings, 11 a.m. on my channel. And then we're going right, I don't know what time Zaire is going to pick up, but then the BGST crew will all be there to pick up the pregame and the live reactions on Z's channel. And then Crap gets to round us all up at the end of the night on Sunday. So Sunday is just a lineup of lineups. I mean, it's going to be exhausting.
It is. It's going to be a pretty damn good
great,
night, man.
Great.
It is. So absolutely. And we have Noof. Thank you for coming out here, man.
Always a pleasure, man. I'm always excited to be here. This was a fantastic panel. I mean, some of the best in the podcast business, all right here for you guys. Go figure, we bring in special guest Colt Eastwood to the podcast, and all of a sudden we get Dirty Harry versus John Wick in the fucking commentary there. But no, it was fantastic, man. It's a pleasure to be here. I want to give a shout out again to all you guys. Make sure you follow them on YouTube or on Twitter and catch up with all their great videos. I mean, Crap puts out a ton of videos each and every week. He's had some really good videos past week, and I look forward to all the stuff that you guys are going to pound out next week, sort of on the wrap up. And speaking of wrap up, guys, as well, make sure you check out the console corner as well. Myself, She-Wolf, GKB, Magic Mike, Lady Foxfire, and some special guests. We'll kind of give you a rundown on what we feel E3 is going to look like, and that'll be starting over the weekend. So lots of great shows ahead of us. Again, thanks for being here. To everybody in the chat, you guys are awesome as well. And to the people watching later, thanks for coming out. This was a good one.
Hell yeah.
You should hit that like button, people.
Yeah, hit the like button. And Colt, thank you for coming out, man. What do you got going on?
I'm waiting to play Dirt. I mean, playing Dirt 4. It looks awesome. It's getting great reviews. I just want to say I've been watching all of you guys and paying attention to you guys for a couple of years at least on YouTube, and to be in here in the room. I know we're just YouTube guys, we're just gamers, but you know, it makes my pants tight. No, but it is really, really cool. And, you know, it is cool to be in here. And I love talking about gaming. And that's why I do my channel, because it has that comment section. And I get down there and we're talking about stuff and we're arguing, and PC guys come, those PC fags come in and start talking crap. You know, I love it though. You know, it is so enjoyable. And, you know, I've said this before, you know, what we do is we go to work, and our coworkers, they don't know about gaming. They don't understand it. And so we don't get to talk to them about it, you know, but this is what it's all about. It's talking to people about gaming. And this has been an honor. I cannot wait to be on Mooch's show, and hopefully he doesn't yell at me like he did.
Oh, he'll yell at you.
Who wasn't yelling?
Hey, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody for coming out too, man. I really appreciate it. It was a hell of a show. We hope you guys have a great week, and hope everyone gets what they want from E3. That's the most important thing, I guess. So have a great night. We'll catch you next week. Rack 'em up.